it blows my mind. These are AI generated pictures. It blows my mind.
Well, hold on. You know what's crazier is that you don't know how long AI's even been around.
No, yeah.
You don't know how many of the pictures that you actually think are fucking real are actually bullshit.
No.
None of us do.
Yeah.
Because those do look very real.
I mean, look at these.
Yeah. Yeah. You could black and white that in 50 years and people would think that's real history.
Yeah.
Shocking, huh? I like that sweater a lot, dude. I'm glad that we're on YouTube now so people can see the gloriousness of that garment that you're wearing.
You know, it's probably the most comfortable sweater I have too. Yeah. I don't know if it feels like I'm just wrapped in Old Glory.
Wrapped in freedom, baby.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, the little bit that we have
It's a little
left.
warm here today, though.
Dude, no shit.
Huh? It's a little warm here in St. Louis, Missouri.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like 70 degrees outside, isn't it?
It should be. It's like spring.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've been getting this fucking 30-degree bullshit.
Yeah, I am glad that's over. But now we got like 40 days.
Well, now that you said that, it ain't gonna be over. It'll be fucking raining.
Well, the groundhog said it, bro. That's not me. The groundhog said we got 6 more weeks.
Punxsutawney Phil.
Isn't he dead?
He did die.
Punxsutawney Phil?
Yeah.
I think there's like many of them.
So he's like telling us what weather's gonna be like 6 feet under.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So
he died the day after the prediction.
About as accurate as the weather people.
Well, the weather people can be pretty accurate if they want to control it.
Bro, no shit. Bro, remember when that used to be the joke? Like the joke was, oh, like the weathermen, they missed the weather today. Like that was the shit we had to worry about.
Bro, I wish that I could be gainfully employed with such an accuracy percentage as a weather person. They're like 17% of the time partially right, and they still maintain their jobs.
You know what I wish I could do? I wish I could sell a product that never fucking works ever, like a cell phone, okay? That fucking totally just rapes you of all of your data and all of your information. And then the phone doesn't work, so I get to charge you for that over and over and over again. And then I get to use the data that I steal off your phone to make billions of dollars. That's what I think would be cool.
And people want it. They can't wait for you to release the next one.
Yeah, and then have people wait in line. Bro, it's like some of these car fucking companies you deal with. Like some of these fucking exotic car companies and shit, they're the same way, bro. They fucking try to make you feel like you're lucky to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars with them. Like where's the business model like that?
I don't know, but I mean, COVID is the longest fucking thing to ever come out of China. Like it's the longest lasting product that they've ever created.
That's a fucking fact.
I mean,
you know what that means though? That means COVID 2.0 is coming.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why
version.
Pfizer's already starting to get ahead with their gain of function research by literally mutating a virus that kills people so they can get ahead of producing the vaccine.
Did you see the new thing that they're talking about now?
The
raccoon dogs?
Raccoon dogs?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Now they're saying it didn't come from a lab. This is today. They're saying it didn't come from a lab, but it actually came from raccoon dogs.
What the fuck is a raccoon?
Exactly.
Listen, I'm in Missouri, okay? We got some weird shit here, but what the fuck is a raccoon dog?
Bro, these people will lie about, they're never going to stop lying because their accountability means their life.
Yeah.
I think it's a game to them too. I mean, remember they started having people stick a swab up your butthole to test for COVID? Like that's how far we went, and like motherfuckers out there like, hell no, I didn't. Like it? But like people are out there like,
how was it? Yeah, how was it?
Like, yeah, let me swab my ass, and like they're probably just sitting there laughing. Like, and America just did it. Like they literally just blindly did anything and everything that they were told to do, and never once did they question like, maybe I shouldn't do this, or why do I believe this person, or what is the purpose of this, or is it possible I'm being lied to? Nah, they just marched in like single file lines, and anyone that didn't just got wrecked.
Yeah. How has that been? Because I mean, so let's people. You guys gotta remember, Mike. You're an attorney, an esquire. I believe is your official title.
I don't know. I just go by Mike, whatever bullshit titles.
Yeah, but you're a badass in the legal system, bro. You've been battling all the big dogs and winning successfully. How has that been going on? Or how has that process been?
Man, it has been the most grueling 2.5 years of my life.
Yeah.
Because no one wanted to stick their neck out when this started. And it reminds you of that meme with that dude that's like behind the tree rubbing his hands together with his tongue out and is just like waiting for it to capitalize. I mean, all these other lawyers, and I'm not saying every single lawyer, but you know, the vast majority of the entire profession just sat back and waited for people to test the waters with this new area of law that was just uncharted with the COVID matters, the religious accommodations. And then obviously on top of that, now I sort of refer to it as lawfare, not litigation. It's more warfare with lawsuits because the courts were politicized. So now you have different, terrain, so to speak, as to where you're litigating, because they got in the minds of judges who are, people too. They're scared. So now you have biased judges that are intimately involved in every single case that you can't remove them or recuse them because everyone knows of COVID. And the terrain was just uncharted. And if you don't have a political understanding as to what's going on, you're not going to be able to succeed in it. And I mean, it was, there were no punches held back across the board with there's nothing that they will stop at to win or to conceal. And I mean, it's just been a bloodbath for 2.5 years, but I mean, it's worth it every single day, because if it wasn't for the rights we have, what would we have? And that's what makes America what it is. So people die on foreign soil. I'll fight this until they put a bullet in my head on American soil.
Yeah.
Well, it's fucking needed.
Yeah.
I mean, look, dude, the whole legal system is compromised. I mean, we've been able to see this for the last fucking 4 or 5 years at least, and probably it's been going on for a much longer time than that. We've just never been paying attention to it.
Yeah.
It's
dude, it's a hard club to get into because you don't understand the language. You don't understand any
of
it.
It's not even that, dude. It's that money has fucking corrupted all the fucking institutions of our entire country to the core. It's rotted them to the core. And we have people who are making decisions that have nothing to do with the law. They have nothing to do with the Constitution. They have nothing to do with what's actually right to protect their interests. And that's what's been going on top to bottom with the politicians, the judicial system, fucking everything, fucking the media, big business, big tech. All of these companies have become so powerful and so rich. They're bro, it's all a cabal, and it's real shit. And they all look after each other. And when you're on the outside, like Mike is trying to do the right thing, they make it impossible. They make it hard as fuck. And they're going to stop at nothing to fucking fuck with him along his journey, just like he was just talking about.
Yeah.
Even though what he's been doing is completely fucking right. And everybody knows it. And all the people listening to the show fucking know it. Everybody fucking knows it. Okay? Dude, it's the idea that this is what annoys the fuck out of me when I'm talking to people. We still live in the freest country. Okay. We're the freest country compared to what? We're the freest country compared to what? Compared to other countries across the globe that are total tyranny, total oppression, total fucking suppression of all the great things that make humanity, total fucking oppression when it comes to finances, when it comes to fucking laws, when it comes to so we're free compared to that. I'm pretty fucking sure that's not what the forefounders of this fucking country decided on when they came here. We're not fucking free. And this idea of freedom that everybody keeps thinking, oh, we're fucking America, we're fucking free. We're not fucking free, because most of our money goes to the government. And how is that? How does most of the money go to the government, Andy? I only pay 30%. Oh, really? You do? What about whenever you fucking buy shit? What's that thing on the end of that extra amount of money that you pay? What about that? What about when you sell shit? What's that extra fee you got to pay? What about when you own shit like a house and you got to pay personal property? Bro, we all Americans, and until they get through their thick fucking skulls that we all pay more than 50% of what the fuck we earn, all of us, to the fucking government, and we keep calling it freedom. And until people get this idea through their fucking head, we're never going to have a chance to be free. It's real shit.
Yeah.
I mean, no one owns anything if you think about it, because let's say that you have the deed to your property, you don't have any outstanding mortgage on it, you literally own the land. Let's go as rudimentary as talking about literally the soil beneath our feet. If you don't pay your taxes, the government takes it. If you do pay your taxes, but the government wants it, they rely on the takings clause, they take it and give you what they claim is, quote, just compensation, and they can usurp anything that you have at any time. So we literally never own anything. We're perpetually renting it on the contingency that we pay taxes that are arbitrarily enforced through legislation that they just blow money through by giving it to places like Ukraine. They spend so much money on, they spent $150 million on some gender studies program in Pakistan. They had a $115 million plan to study fucking mules in one of the last budgets that went through, I think it was last year. why is that money going to this stuff? And our roads are still shit. Our schools are ass. We don't have the right necessities to actually take care of the homeless population or actually decrease crime and educate people, gentrify communities. So what is our money going towards other than giving it to politicians to then send to foreign, countries like Ukraine in the billions, who then launder it back through companies like FTX, and then FTX under Citizens United 2010 case that says that you can have unlimited contributions to a campaign through a PAC. The company then just donates back into the politicians' pockets to ensure that they're reelected. And it's just a vicious cycle of usurping money every single year.
That's treason. That's fucking treasonous. Dude, that is
it's
not
sedition, yeah.
that dude. It's not in the interests of the people of this country in any way, shape, or form. It cannot be justified to be so. And they got every single fucking idiot in the real world arguing over dumbass shit. They got every single contention point. They're creating the maximum amount of friction. The new thing is, and I fucking seen this yesterday, you got all the conservative influencers posting these videos of black people from 10 years ago saying this crazy shit about exterminating white people and shit.
I got that. Yeah.
Okay, you got that in the show today? Okay. Well, fuck, dude, I'll fucking talk about it right now. It's so aggravating to sit here and watch people who claim to understand what's going on and then legitimately it's grifting, dude. It's grifting for attention. Like, there's so many grifters on the conservative side. There's fucking fuckheads that sell fucking t-shirts every fucking 2 seconds and post these fucking volatile clips that stir people up right along the lines that the media and the powers that be want people stirred up along, okay? And get people arguing over shit. And then they can do what Mike just said all day long. They can steal all our money. They can oppress us financially. They keep us poor. They keep us uninformed. They keep us sick. They fucking promote us to be fat and lazy and consuming data. And bro, when are we going to actually get smart?
They're just trying to capitalize on politics and the political landscape. And they're treating it just like it's an industry, like everything else, like textiles or real estate or, commodities. They're taking politics. And the problem with that is that the political landscape is not something that you get to choose to participate in, whether you want to enjoy, certain products that are made or whether you want to buy land or real estate. Politics is something that by virtue of your existence alone, you're obligated and forced to be subjected to. Yet people are trying to monetize it for their own personal gain. They jerk off to how many likes they get on an Instagram post. Everything's the most sensational thing that's ever happened. Yet when there are people that are actually trying to educate, there are people that are actually putting good, accurate, unbiased information, but it perhaps is more leaning towards the middle as opposed to it being one of the far ends of the spectrum, left or right. It's not as sensationalizing. It's not as divisive. And as humans, we're naturally drawn to conflict and controversy. If you do something that's good, you do something that's correct, you do something that's right, no one gives a fuck. But then as soon as you step out of line and you make one mistake or you make one error or you come up short in one specific way or they can capitalize on a vulnerability, they exploit the piss out of you because it makes them seem as though they're important and standing out. They point the finger first and everyone else throws stones from inside their glass houses.
Dude, let's really think about this. Let's really fucking...
You want to show the video?
Is it fucking topic number one?
Yeah, we can get right into it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this headline because this is actually some interesting shit behind this. It's pretty funny. So Hobbs, the Arizona governor, signed this executive order, right? It's called the Crown Act. And the whole basis of it is to prohibit hair-based discrimination against state employees and contractors in the workplace and public schools. Titled the Crown Act. Saying, quote, for far too long, Black women, men, and children have been deprived of educational and employment opportunities for wearing their natural hair, Hobbs said in the press statement.
Where's the proof of that?
Well,
where's the proof of that?
Yeah, they say that. Hold
on.
Yeah.
Where's the proof? Listen, here's one thing I'm done tolerating.
Yeah.
I'm done tolerating these fucking abstract reasons that are made up like somebody's fucking hair as to why they didn't get a job. This is a meritocracy. You can either do the job and you could do it well or you fucking can't. And when you can't, we don't get to blame it on things like our fucking hair.
That's it.
I don't even understand this. And I literally only exclusively sue over discrimination. I don't even understand what it's doing.
This ain't even the hitter of the thing. But to your point, Andy, the research that they're citing here, there was a Crown research study by Dove found that Black women's hair was 2.5 times more likely to be perceived as unprofessional. And over 20% of black women aged 25 to 34 have been sent home from work because of their hair. And then they cited
listen, bro. I want to see one company that sent a black woman home because of her hair in the last fucking 20 years.
Right.
Because that company would have ended up on the fucking news.
Where is it at? But here's the kicker, okay?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
bro, because that's some racist shit.
Where is it at?
I could not imagine going up to anybody at any race for any fucking reason and saying you must go home because of your hair. Like, I've run companies my whole life, bro. Where does this happen at?
I've never seen it.
Where does it happen at?
It's probably asking them why they think they got sent home after they fucked something up. And
exactly.
Then
Could it have been their response to, maybe just poor performance and, it's used as a scapegoat. I don't know. But here's the funny part of this whole story, right? Cool. Okay. Sign the Crown Act, whatever. We're not listen, the Civil Rights Act movement happened fucking decades ago. We're past it. We're fine. But here's the funny thing, man. So there was a lot of people in attendance for this event. And I thought it was interesting who one of the guests were in attendance for the signing of this executive order. It was race hoaxer Rachel Dolezal attends the Katie Hobbs hair discrimination ban. The black lady or the white lady that, dressed up in blackface was the head of the NAACP.
Listen, you trans black. Trans black. That's real shit now.
Yeah,
you can be trans age.
Yeah, that's fine.
You got Dylan Mulvaney on fucking TV saying he's 6 years old now.
No, Jesus.
Okay, so this is anti-trans. Busting her out for being a liar about her race, that's actually discriminatory.
I mean, if he's 6 years old, take his fucking social media away.
Right.
No shit.
Right.
Stop posting you dancing on the internet. You're 6 years old. You're supposed to be like playing with like toys.
Yeah.
And I mean, probably fucking does that too.
It's weird. Isn't it weird all of a sudden, all of a sudden out of the blue, it goes from I just want to be a woman to now I'm a little girl. Is that weird? Does it strike anybody as weird?
I feel like we talked and said that was going to be the case though, like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I feel like there's a show that's been saying that this has a lot to do with children the whole
goal of it, all of it.
Because they want to go after the reason you go after kids, it makes perfect sense. Where did they infiltrate first at the deepest rooted levels of liberalism? You're not seeing a bunch of 60-year-olds. I mean, there's some of them, but how many 60-year-olds do you see with, purple and blue hair and all this weird shit? No, it's mostly the demographic that you're targeted with. That range is probably between 16 to 30.
Well, they understand.
It started 10 years ago.
They understand that that's where you start the indoctrination process.
Well,
that's why
you can't get us.
That's why in Israel, Israel right now, there was two people who presented a law in Israel to imprison. This happened just 2 days ago. To imprison anybody who talks about Jesus Christ, and for 1 year. And if you talk to them about if you talk to a child about Jesus Christ, it's 2 years in prison automatically.
Positive or negative.
It doesn't matter. To even acknowledge it.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying it's going to pass, but that's a law that's presented.
That just got presented.
Yep. And Netanyahu's government.
And that's supposed to be a close ally.
Yeah, that's where we're helping fight Iran.
That shit will come here. You watch.
It's already...
Yeah.
We already are a godless society.
They already know. They know exactly how to do the move they're trying to move. This is why you have the drag men in front of children. It's to normalize it in the children's mind. So the children grow up and then the parents say, hey, that's not right. And the children say, you're just a bigot. You don't get it. Because they've been conditioned since they were a kid to see this as a normal thing. And we're allowing this, by the way. All of us common sense Americans, people, like, I'm so tired of the fucking posts on the internet saying, can you believe this? Yeah, motherfucker, we believe it. That doesn't change the fact that these kids who have a grown man's fucking ass in their face that's not changing that. That's still happening. And the more that we good people continue to say, holy shit, I can't believe this, and allow it to go on, the more kids are fucking fucked. So at what point in time are we going to grow the fuck up and actually be adults and call this shit what the fuck it is and get rid of it?
I mean, why don't we protest? Like conservatives, and the one thing that I will say about the left is that they are unified and they're tenacious. They actually fight back. They follow
they don't fucking
and they
work.
stand up. And well, yeah, I mean, you don't have to, I'm not saying be Antifa and like, you can just go riot on any given time, but conservatives don't have any sort of unified movement to push it back. What we do is we act and we posture like we have a line drawn in the sand, and then as soon as someone encroaches on it, we start backing up. The way I operate, I draw my line in the sand at the outset. If you get close to it, I fire a warning shot. The next thing you know, if you step on the line, I slit your throat. That is the way that I operate, because it is the way that you set the tone and you say, no, you are not going to infringe on my rights. I'm not moving my line. I'm not moving the goalposts. I'm not letting you encroach in any way, shape, or form, even if this one instance isolated in and of itself is insignificant. What is significant is the fact that you just bent. And the moment you start to bend your spine and tailor what you're willing to tolerate or not tolerate because of inconvenience or financial constraints or fear of losing your job or whatever it may be, just like all the people that say I was forced to get vaccinated, unless you were strapped to a table or they put chloroform in a cloth over your mouth, tied you down and injected your body forcibly, nobody was forced. People chose to do it.
And in that is the beauty of their plan, by the way. They didn't force anybody, and they say that now. Mm-hmm. Now you have Fauci on TV saying, I didn't force anybody. I didn't say close the country. I didn't fucking say do this, because he didn't actually say it. He said we should do it. He didn't say to do it. And that and
that's
dude,
that wordplay bullshit.
Last night when we're sitting at dinner, bro, all I could think about was that this was a real life. What I was witnessing, which you couldn't see because it was over your shoulder, was like the real life example of how this shit has happened. Like I watched two dudes sit there and just fucking have to take it from these two women the entire fucking dinner, bro. Didn't say a fucking word. And I saw this dude roll his eyes probably 72 fucking times.
He didn't say a word though.
Didn't say a fucking word.
I mean, monsters exist. There are truly evil people that are on this earth, but there's not enough of them to carry out what we just experienced for the last 2.5 years. Those most culpable for carrying out this pandemic and this mass carnage and genocide are the everyday average, quote unquote, hardworking Americans that just didn't want to raise issues or cause ripples or make waves, and they blindly followed and complied. And they're the ones that were nothing more than the foot soldiers that carried it out. Because if you think that you're assisting by not staying true to yourself, your values, your morals, your country, God, your family, you're out of your fucking mind. And the whole feminist movement that we saw with the restaurant situation last night, wake up. Feminism isn't about giving women rights. Women have had the same exact equal rights in the United States since 1963. Stop focusing on a hyper isolated group of a select few males that are successful to define a wage gap. Because if there was an objective standard for a gender wage gap, there would be lawsuits over that every fucking day. And there's not. The feminist movement was about getting women to start working, because now you can tax another half of the population. Yes. And then when you're working, because you're out of the house, your husband's at work, your child becomes a custodian of the state, and they can put this bullshit in their minds at a younger age, and they can forcibly control them. Why is it that when people go up to a woman, they're like, oh, what do you do for work? Why the fuck do you assume that they work? Because our society doesn't value traditional notions of what women do. Being a mom is the hardest job there is. Taking care of a home, keeping that house taken care of, having food on the table, raising those children. That is harder than any job that any of us, at least from my opinion, can comprehend is raising a family like that.
Not only that, not only is it the hardest job, it's looked down upon.
It's looked down upon, and you're shamed for doing it. Like you're not successful, or you're just a gold digger.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're not doing enough.
You're not doing enough.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And now we have people cheering and championing being 35 years old, single, miserable, making $100,000 a year. And it's like, that's what you champion as being a successful human?
Oh, well, hold on. Let's take it a step further. These are the same people that are championing trans men's rights, or fucking trans women's rights, women plus rights. Okay. And these motherfucking dudes are putting on female clothing and competing against fucking females. We have a national
winning.
They're not winning. They're dominating.
Yeah.
And we have a national champion swimmer who is a grown fucking man as an NCAA fucking championship.
Yeah,
bro, this is fucking bullshit. So feminists, where the fuck is your opinion on men erasing women? Because as far as I can fucking tell, the patriarchy is fucking winning. The shit you hate the most.
And I mean, people always say that women are more oppressed. On the other side of that, I mean, if you look at in terms of oppression or who's more disadvantaged, highest population in prison, men. Lowest education rates, men. Number of suicides, men. Yeah. Number of homeless, men. Victims of violent crime, men. Where are men legally allowed to do something in America that women are not allowed to do? Where is it in America that a person based on race or ethnicity is not able to do something that another person can? Everyone has their own baggage. Everyone has hurdles to get over, but the difference between a hurdle and a barrier is that hurdles are the shit you can overcome if you just put your mind to it and you put the work into it, whereas a barrier objectively precludes you. We don't have any barriers based on these irrelevant fucking characteristics. I don't care about your sexual orientation, the color of your skin, your gender, your age. Can you do the job or not? And that is what I will find merit in as to the value that I see in my eyes and what you contribute to society. Because I don't give a fuck about the color of your skin, how old you are, what you've accomplished based on your academic merits. Show me tangible products as to where you moved the ball and made this country and world a better place. Because likely it's gone backwards, and the only thing that you have to show for it is what you have as a pieces of paper hang on your wall as degrees.
Bro, it's not about equality anymore. It's about superiority. It's about you. If I am in a protected victim class, you better acknowledge it and you better bow the fuck down. That's what the fuck it's about. Okay. So I find it very hard to believe that in this political atmosphere, in this fucking time and age in the world, my experience running many companies over my entire fucking adult life, I have a really hard time imagining someone sending anyone home for their hair because we have this thing called the fucking internet. And if I were to walk out and send someone home because of their fucking hairstyle, what do you think would actually happen? What do you think would happen? They would go immediately on the fucking internet and it would become a viral fucking story. And so I'm sorry, but I don't believe that people are actually being discriminated against because of their fucking hair. Unless maybe your hair is falling into some food that you're preparing or some sort of shit like that.
Yeah.
Which in that case, nobody wants to eat your fucking hair.
What, regardless of what color your skin is.
Listen, we've lost touch with common sense reality.
Yeah.
And it's this fucking absurd shit. And all of these people like Katie Hobbs who fucking write these bullshit fucking bills into law. She look at her fucking face as she's signing that piece of paper, dude. She is so fucking excited to have the approval of all those women around her. And like, dude, this is all pandering. I guarantee you, behind closed doors, she gives zero fucks about any of those people.
I mean, look at the Democratic Party's history. If most people don't know that, they always say Republicans are the ones that are racist, when the party was literally founded to prevent the spread of slavery into the Western.
What's more racist? Let's just say this. What's more racist? Okay. Now, I've lived in Missouri my entire life. I've lived in Missouri my fucking entire life. Never one time my entire life of 43 years of being a white man from Missouri, okay, which is next to Arkansas, all right, have I fucking been invited to a fucking KKK event?
Yeah,
have I met a KKK member? Have I seen someone who's in the KKK? Have I fucking seen it? I've never fucking seen it in 43 fucking years of my life. Ever. I've never fucking seen it.
Send me the invite, guys. Like if you guys are out there.
No, I'm just saying. So what's more racist?
Yeah.
Okay, that, all right, the shit, white supremacy, KKK, the shit that I have never fucking seen. And I'm pretty fucking sure that living in Missouri my whole life, being a white dude, I'm pretty sure I would have fucking seen it. I'm pretty sure one of these motherfuckers would have asked me to come to one of their fucking cookouts. Pretty fucking sure. Okay?
That's the worst part.
Never happened. Never happened in my entire life.
Yeah.
Ever. Okay, so there's racism, right?
Right.
This enemy that we can't fucking.
The boogeyman.
Where are they?
Yeah, boogeyman.
All right. Now, or you have the Democratic Party who comes in every 2 years, every 4 years, and promises the black communities that we are going to fix the schools. We are going to crack down on crime. We're going to make it safe. We are going to help the education system. We are going to fix the infrastructure in your city. We are going to do all these things. And then they go away, they go to Washington, D.C., and they pass bills and laws to fund these initiatives that never happen. And then when you track the money the money gets funneled back through special interests and goes and spreads out to all the political PACs like you explained before. So let me ask you, what is more racist? Is it this concept of white supremacy and the KKK, or is it the people that the black communities continue to vote for over and over and over again, who continue to pass laws and steal money and create problems to solve? Because that's the business they're in. They're not in the business of solving problems. They're in the business of keeping problems going so that they can get elected on the promise of solving the problem. And so we need to really like evaluate what's more racist. I would say her even signing this bill is actually fucking racist. It's actually racist because what you're doing here is you're making a whole bunch of young girls who happen to be black believe that they're not going to get a fair shake because they have a different kind of hair, which is not even different. That's just the kind of hair black people have.
Mm-hmm.
Like white people have a certain kind of hair usually. Black people have a different kind of.
Rachel Dolezal has it.
Hold on, bro. My point is, you're giving people who are young, and you think you're setting such a great example. You're showing young black women that they probably can't do shit because of their hair. And what are they taught in school? They're taught, oh, well, you probably can't do things because of white supremacy, because the color of your skin, because the color of your skin, you're kind of fucked. Oh, and you little white guys, you guys are fucking racist whether you are or not. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, they're just creating the innate understanding and they're ingraining from adolescent years that you are better because you're white, but you're a piece of shit for knowing it, even though I'm the only one and reason that you know that or think that. And then telling black children that they can't amount to doing what white kids can do without the government's help. Yet meanwhile, Trump put on the table, and I have my own issues with Trump across the board. I'm not sitting here endorsing him or anything, but he put on the table like the 500 or 50 or I think it was like $50 billion platinum plan to gentrify low income communities. What Biden wanted to do was put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, and Trump got raked across the coals because he didn't want to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. Well, guess what? The reason had nothing to do with Harriet Tubman. It had to do with the fact that you can money launder, depreciate the dollar by putting that much black ink on a bill that you can wash. The ink is what makes the bills difficult. The paper isn't. They don't have the internal security measures like the 100. So if you put a Harriet Tubman's face on a $20 bill, that can exponentially lead to over 200 different bills being produced based on the volume of the ink that's on it. It was a security reason, and it was an economic reason. It had nothing to do with Harriet Tubman being black or not worthy.
Well, also, that, but Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill ain't fucking it's not doing.
That's not making
anything
anyone's life better.
No. I think, yeah.
So take all the black people off the fucking products, but put them on the money.
Right.
What do we?
Yeah, so they can use the black money to buy the white products.
This is the problem. This is the problem that I have. It's the hypocrisy of all of it.
That's all it is, man.
None of it makes any fucking sense.
And we got to get over it as a fucking people, man.
Yeah,
we have
do.
to. Very
quick.
To
get fucking smart about it.
Very quick, man.
Like, bro, all these people online arguing about race. Like, dude, you white people who are now you feel like you're okay. Is this the next topic?
What's up?
Do you have a video or what?
Yeah, I have a video. You want to see it real quick?
Yeah, where was it? Is it on topic number 1?
Yeah, still on top of 1.
Okay, fucking play the video.
Here's a video.
And the one idea is how we are going to exterminate white people, because that, in my estimation, is the only conclusion I have come to. We have to exterminate white people off of the face of the planet to solve this problem. Now, I don't care whether you clap or not, but I'm saying to you that we need to solve this problem because they are going to kill us.
Well, you're 70 years old or plus, bro. You're still kicking it.
Yeah, right.
So when are they planning on killing you?
Yeah. Not to mention that video was 10 years ago.
So, I'm going to get to that. That video is 10 years old. Okay. That video went viral yesterday. We had every motherfucking conservative influencer post it. And then we had all these white people below it saying all kinds of racist shit. All right. Let me tell you something, dude. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you come from. If you judge someone based upon the pigment of their skin or based upon where they geographically originate from on this planet or what culture they're from, and you look at them and you feel a certain kind of way when you look at them in a bad way, just understand that not only are you racist, you're also amongst the bottom 1% of intelligence on the fucking planet. Okay? Because what we're talking about here is we're talking about pigment and melanin in fucking skin.
Things we have no control over.
We're talking about shit that people cannot fucking control. And you motherfuckers want to fight for it. And then, this is the insane part of it. And then these are the same people that want to be the loudest people about their opinions on everything. If you think, like, if you're so smart and so educated about racial history and discrimination and all this shit, and you can't identify that we are intentionally being propagated to hate each other, white people and black people, okay, to hate each other through propaganda from the media, from the government, from fucking movies, from social movements. If you can't identify that, your brain is not properly functioning. And that goes for white people or black people or any other people that discriminate on people because of the color of their skin.
For any people.
You people are the fucking problem. You're the problem. And you can't just say, I buy into it because, I found this crazy black man on the internet. Bro, we can go search from fucking 25 fucking years ago and find white people that say the exact same shit about black people. Okay? But now you have them putting this shit out there because they know what they've done. What they've done over the last 10 years, because there has been a racial double standard, all right? You can have black entertainment television. You can have black celebrations. You can have Black History Month. You can have all of these things. White people get nothing. Okay, you know what white people get? They don't get a job because there's a certain person of color from a certain culture that is and they got to fill a quota. That's what they get. Okay, they don't get any celebration. They don't get, and by the way, I don't want one. I don't fucking want one because I don't give a fuck what race I am. I give a fuck about all of us seeing each other as fucking Americans and moving forward together. But the point of this whole fucking thing is this, and it's very simple. If you can't identify that they are dividing us, and you cannot then think you are intelligent about all of this other shit. You understand? It's like, bro, you're the people falling for it. You're the people arguing for it. And I'm going to tell you something, dude. I've lost a lot of respect for people, dude, because they're starting to buy into it. And I've seen it. I've seen people I follow. I've seen people on these posts. I've seen all kinds of black people saying, fuck white people. I've seen all kinds of white people saying, fuck black people. And bro, we're all getting played. We're all getting played. We've been played for a fucking decade. And they've pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And now they're to a precipice where they know that white people are fucking tired of it. And now they're putting in the hard shit, like this dude calling for extermination, hoping to incite some sort of fucking violence between black and white people.
And why would they do that?
So they can steal our motherfucking shit.
And they see us
They want to start a
unified.
revolution. I mean, Morgan Freeman was in an interview and they asked him, how do we end racism? And his response was, stop talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's extremely important because you're just giving it a platform. Meanwhile, the two things that I'm working on right now that can actually save lives, I'll get 200, 300, 400 likes maybe on a post if I talk about it. But if I posted that video, thousands if I condemned it. And that's one of the biggest problems is, one, I'm going through and handling cases with people that are in need of organ transplants and they're not allowing them to get transplants because they aren't vaccinated. And I've had the first kid needed a heart transplant, 6-month-old baby, a 6-month-old child. They were threatening to withhold an organ transplant, a heart, because he wasn't vaccinated. This kid had never left the hospital. He had gone home briefly for a little while and was back in the hospital. It happened again to another 14-year-old girl at Duke University. It happened again at Stanford. It happened again at Johns Hopkins. More and more people are coming to me, and what they'll do is they'll wait for you to go treatment for 2 years and usurp that insurance funding. And the only reason you went through the precursory dialysis and treatment leading up to these operations is because you expected to get the operation, only for them to pull the plug out from under you and to pull that rug out because you weren't vaccinated. They're doing that. And I also have another way to go after the entities responsible through the PrEP Act, where they call it this immunity veil. It's not real. It's not an immunity veil. It's literally the cause of action that you can use to sue. You sue them for a violation of the PrEP Act. It's not immunity. It's the exact opposite. but no one cares to get movements about stuff like this going where you can hold accountability and you can find ways to actually redress real issues where, what is a more grave issue than killing people? And it happened by the boatloads. The hundreds of thousands of people worldwide died during COVID. And I have a way of financially shoving that back up their ass and holding them accountable, but no one cares because they don't have the capacity to actually digest substantive material. It's so reduced to black, white. Oh, he's good, he's bad. He's straight, he's gay.
Left, right.
Yeah. It's like a light switch. Everyone thinks binary. There's no depth in our society anymore. And it's like, what do you care about? Likes, clicks, and the image that you have amongst just bottom feeders with no substance.
It's real, man.
What do you think about that?
No, yeah, dude. I think the reason that videos like this are starting to resurface is because I truly felt, and we've talked about it, I felt like we were getting to a kind of a place in society where you could kind of see the unity forming, right? Like it started to feel like 1775, just a little bit, right? And I think that these global elites, like this was one tweet in response to that video saying globalist elites are creating bad blood division between black and white. It's by design. Don't fall for these clowns on TV. And I think people were seeing and feeling this unity that was coming together. And again, these globalist elites, they understand that, our unity means they're going to be held accountable, and by accountable, that will mean death in a lot of cases. What will they be willing to do to prevent that? So they'll shake the jar anytime, any chance that they fucking get. And I think that's really what it comes down to, man. That they're going to keep shaking the jar, and we as society, we listening, we gotta stop following.
Bro, if black people and white people would actually just wake the fuck up and realize how manipulated this whole issue is of race and fucking come together, we could actually fix shit in the world, because they wouldn't be able to continue to run their play. Bro. They wouldn't be able to continue to come into the inner city every fucking 2 years.
Wouldn't happen.
And dude, they wouldn't be able to do it.
No, united we stand, divided we fall.
I mean, what it reminds me of is the days leading up to George Floyd's death, because 3 days before it happened on, it was May 22nd, 2020, that story about that Central Park Karen lady came out where that white woman yelled at the black guy for having his dog off the leash. That probably happens 1,000 times a day throughout the United States. But for whatever reason, that one story made it viral. It went through the internet everywhere.
Yeah, but see what they're doing now is the opposite. What they're doing now is they're
going after white people.
No, they're putting out these videos of all the black people committing crimes, like beating the shit out of white people and all these fucking crimes. And they're putting all these things out because they're trying to get white people to a boiling point.
Well, it worked last time, so why would, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
This is the opposite, though.
I know.
Last time it was to get black people to a boiling point. Yeah. Now they're trying to get white people to a boiling point. And what we really need is some fucking actual leaders of men to stand up and say, all of you are fucking idiots, and you're all stupid, and you're all fucked up for thinking anything about someone's fucking skin color. That's the truth. That's the truth.
We are not each other's
enemy. And by the way,
enemy.
this shit of like, I'm going to claim racism and get shit, that's over with. That's over with. It's not fucking real. It's not happening because everything's racist. Shower heads are racist. Your water bottle's racist.
Seasonings.
Fucking seasonings are racist.
Well, that's actually kind of.
Fucking the Washington Redskins are like, bro.
Yeah. We are not each other's enemies. That's what we have to realize.
I'm so aggravated with the inability of people to understand that we are being fucking played. We are being fucking played. Those white people they tell you to hate, those black people they tell you to hate, those motherfuckers ain't your enemy.
And we got to stop buying into this shit, man. Got to.
Your enemy is all these motherfuckers in Washington, D.C. who fucking pass laws to make life hard as fuck for everybody else.
That's it. That's it, man. Well, guys, that was headline number one. Let's move along to headline number two. This is a big topic of the day. Headline reads, CEO faces unusually intense grilling as Congress questions ties to China. So this is in reference to TikTok. So like I said, it's a big topic today. So this article reads, in TikTok CEO Xiao Zi Chu, first appearance before Congress, he's struggling to address lawmakers' worries that the extraordinarily popular video app represents a dangerous national security threat because it is owned by Beijing-based ByteDance. To date, lawmakers have offered no evidence of TikTok harming U.S. national security interests. But Chew is facing an especially combative grilling as lawmakers from both parties appear unusually united in their distrust of the CEO and concerns about the company's ties to China. So here's a couple of things that we know. The Biden administration is pushing a plan that would require TikTok's Chinese owners to sell their stakes in the company, but the administration's strategy could run into the same legal and constitutional minefield. The Chinese government said it would, quote, strongly oppose any forced sale of the company, effectively blocking this strategy. Chew, the CEO of TikTok, has become the face of TikTok in Washington, where he's been on a charm offensive to overcome what he calls a, quote, trust deficit among American lawmakers. So these are a couple of things that he's battling. Representative Schreier blames screen time for teen addiction and parent frustration, saying that after Daring Soto said TikTok should, quote, be an American company with American values, Chew, TikTok CEO, briefly went on the offense, saying American social media companies don't always have a good track record on data privacy. Look at Facebook with Cambridge Analytica. Facebook last year paid a strategy firm to slam TikTok as a threat to American teens. Now, we do know that at least 28 states have banned TikTok use on government-owned devices, citing data privacy and security concerns. Nebraska was the first in 2020, though all of the rest have happened in the last 6 months after South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, who's a Republican, kicked off a wave of bans by claiming without evidence that China was, quote, manipulating their algorithms to gather information on American citizens to use against us. Of course, the race card, once again, like we've been saying, Representative Clark presses Chew on silencing voices of Black creators on TikTok. But
what about the silence of voices of all creators on Meta?
I'm going to get to that. I'm glad you asked
good.
that. Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, Andy. Now, they are getting some pushback and some support. TikTok is, that is. There's been some free speech organizations pushing back. A group of more than a dozen free speech advocacy organizations sent a letter to members of Congress on Thursday to urge them against a potential nationwide ban on TikTok as the platform receives criticism over its data and security practices. There's also a Democratic Representative, Jamal Bowman. He's an ally for TikTok. And then you start to think, right? So it made me have this internal question, right? Our government bans a lot of things, right? And the things that they typically ban the most are things that, there's typically nothing wrong with or we need or rights, like assault weapons, trying to ban bump stocks, things like that. We know they ban cannabis federally, even though there's nothing wrong. There's no evidence to suggest that anything's wrong with cannabis. And then you also have, our own government institution. We know that they colluded with Twitter through the Twitter files that's came out. They suppressed that. We know that they've done the same to Meta, right? We know that pornography runs rampant on our social media platforms. And it makes me ask this question.
It's not just pornography. It's fucking child pornography.
It's everywhere, right? And so it makes me ask the question, right? We know that, there's a history of whatever they say, typically the opposite is true. Is the reason that this coordinated attack against TikTok, could it be because TikTok is not involved in all that and our government would have no control to use the same tactics that they use in Meta and use in Twitter to control our citizens? Is that why they're truly trying to ban it, is because they have no control over it? That's the same. That's argument's been there for cannabis, right? Because they couldn't figure out how to tax it legally. Let's just make it illegal, right? What do you guys take on this?
I think it's a lot of things. I think there's a lot of reasons why they're attacking TikTok. I think the first and foremost reason is money.
Mm-hmm.
I think TikTok's kicking the fuck out of fucking Meta. And the reason it has nothing to do with anything other than they have an open algorithm and they allow fucking you to grow your page. And Meta refuses, Zuckerberg and these guys and all these fuckers refuse to give up their propaganda machine and open it back up the way it used to be. Okay. They've gained some power. They recognize the power. The dude spent $400 million on fucking on our election,
Democrat election,
2020. Yeah. Okay. they've recognized that they can manipulate the narrative and they control the narrative. And they are using that and abusing that. And they like that. That's what they like to do. If they were just to go back and say, we're going to open the algorithm up and everybody can grow like it used to be back in the good old days of the internet, they would win. They wouldn't be laying off 10,000 fucking people every fucking 3 months. They wouldn't be down billions and billions and billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars in worth. They wouldn't be that because his ego will not allow him to give up the control aspect. They're losing their company and they're losing it to TikTok, who understands that we have an open algorithm and people want to fucking see their pages grow when they make content. And if Meta were just to go back to the way it was with a static news feed, open algorithm, they would fucking destroy everybody. And Zuck, you would be back balling out, motherfucker, like you always want to be.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to give up the control because the United States of America does not like being censored and they don't like being manipulated. And they're onto your bullshit. And we all see it and we all know it and everybody knows it. Okay? So a lot of this is money. So we can't fucking give up our control mechanisms. We can't give up our censoring mechanisms. But these guys over here are beating us.
Right.
That's not fair. So what we'll do is we'll spend billions of dollars to sabotage them and create a smear campaign on them. That's the first part. Now, the second part, there seems to be a different way of using TikTok in China than there is in America.
Or could it just be the algorithms?
Hold on.
To your point.
It seems to me that in China, they are using it as a weapon to culturally make our kids stupid, okay? They're propagating kill yourself videos and trends, fucking trans videos and trends, all this shit to kids. And there's actually a study about this. There was a study where they made 13 fucking TikTok accounts, and within 1 hour, they were already being served kill yourself trend videos, okay? So there seems to be, and over in China, they're rewarding achievement. They're rewarding solving the Rubik's Cube fast. They're rewarding kicking ass in school.
Like that's what they're fed
activities.
On their feed.
So it seems to be that there is some truth, as well as the first reason, which was the money reason and the control reason. There seems to be some truth to the fact that it is being used to hurt our children and prop up their children. So,
but the same happens.
I think there's a lot to it.
Yeah, but the counter to that though, Andy, like I think it was PragerU. I believe it was PragerU. They did the same thing with YouTube. They made a kid's YouTube page, and within minutes, they're seeing trans, they're seeing all of the, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, so we go after TikTok. I'm cool with it, okay, if that's what's happening. But we know for a fact that it's happening on all of these other social media platforms that everybody's using already in the United States.
Well, look,
Where's
dude,
the regulation
listen,
for there?
We all know what this really is.
Yeah.
What this really is these dudes over here are all in together, and this platform here is not.
Right.
And these people want their piece of this fucking platform. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. We're so powerful. It's our country. It's our game. These people they feel like nobody spends $400 million on an election. Nobody fucking censors half the country unless they feel entitled to do so. They feel like I'm smart, they're dumb, I know what I'm doing is good for them, even if they don't know it. And that ego is so fucking massive that it actually makes them believe that they're doing something noble when they're not. That's what I believe is going on. And so they have this guy over here being TikTok, and all these guys here, Google, fucking Meta, fucking the politicians, fucking traditional media, they're all playing and rowing the same direction. This guy's not. And so this is them going, this is no different than that group going after Trump. It's the same shit. These people are on the outside,
mob mentality.
They're on the inside, and this is their world. And to fucking play in it, you got to play by their rules.
I mean, if they want to really just take this to like the most rudimentary level, to like a 5th grade comprehension, if you cared about data, why'd you have a fucking spy balloon flying over American soil as long as it wanted to, while it's literally here mining data,
right?
And we didn't do anything about it. It's not like TikTok is the only means by which China can acquire data from our phones.
1,000%.
So that's what you're going to hedge on. Secondly, the fact that it's a bipartisan agreement where both sides are trying to ban it for whatever virtue signaling reason that there is a big red flag, because there's very little that those two parties can agree with right now. So what that's telling me is, oh shit, our handlers want us to get rid of TikTok. Well, who's their handler? Whoever keeps them in office. Well, who keeps them in office?
Right.
The big PACs. Well, who has that? Oh, the biggest tech companies in the world Amazon, Google, Meta. That's where it all dives down to. They're getting their asses kicked because TikTok's a better app in a lot of ways, and it's free in the sense of growth.
That's the point. It's the growth, bro. It's the open AI, it's the open algorithm and the non-censorship. That's why people are going there. That's it.
Before Elon took over Twitter, it was more likely that you would get banned from Twitter for opposing child pornography than posting it.
Right.
Like, if you spoke out against that, they would target you. But if you posted it, there's a lawsuit with a 15-year-old boy who had to sue Twitter because someone had taken illicit videos of him. And I don't know to the extent of, I don't want to say that it was rape because I don't want to over embellish it, but he was abused. It was posted on Twitter. They found the video, requested it that it be taken down, the parents, and Twitter said they didn't find that it violated any terms or conditions in their policy, and they had to sue Twitter to get it removed.
And that was that dude, Yoel Roth. He was the head of that department.
He made that call. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I got deleted because I just posted a factual statement about a bombing at the U.S. Senate chambers, and no one ever did anything about that. And I point out that the woman responsible was pardoned by Clinton and is on the board of directors with Black Lives Matter. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Well,
so I mean, because
dude, it's this, bro. We have a fucking tool that we are using very effectively to control the narrative in the population. This tool does not do that. This tool is taking away our power to do that. So we're going to attack them. That's it.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me.
And all those free speech, 12 different groups. I saw that 12 groups that are quote unquote free speech organizations are getting mad at presumably the potential congressional action of banning TikTok. That's what the argument is here. How many of these companies or how many people still think that censorship, absent the government directing it to occur, is a free speech issue?
Right.
People don't realize fundamentally that the Constitution and the First Amendment only apply to government action. It doesn't apply to private companies. If there's no government entanglement, a company can censor whatever it wants to censor.
Let me ask you this, though. Don't you, now, let me phrase this the right way. I hear what you're saying. Okay, private companies do whatever the fuck they want. But when you have a new technology introduced that never existed before, and it becomes so massive and so powerful and so important to public discourse, such as social media, there is a case, a strong case, in my opinion, to be made that new regulations and rules regarding free speech need to be applied.
100%. Because the public square and the notion of free speech that used to take place in the town center for everyone to have their voices heard is now no longer a physical town square. It's the internet. And the means by which we communicate as a free society is online. And the Communications Decency Act, Section 230, is the linchpin that this hangs in the balance of, and it was weaponized, which the Communications Decency Act was actually enacted for good reasons. It was to bolster the notion of free speech in the sense that if you're an internet service provider and someone posts some bullshit on there that's illegal or a threat, you shouldn't be penalized just because someone else posted it on your platform. But what that turned into was model mayhem that it was like the Hot Topic meets OnlyFans shit from like the mid 2000s, where they had like models posing on there that underage girls that were getting exploited on that website, but the website didn't take it down because if they meddled or acted as an intermediary and buffered the content, it could subject them to liability. So they carved out an exception saying, okay, well, you know what? We see the problem here, why you didn't do it. But now they created an exception in the Communications Decency Act. So if it was harmful or offensive content, you could act as an intermediary. So guess what you do now?
Censor.
Call everything harmful or offensive.
That's right.
And it keeps you within that immunity veil. And the problem is because it's an immunity veil, you can't sue to challenge it. You can't sue the immunity veil because it's a law. It's not a party. You can't sue the company because they assert the immunity veil. So there's no way to get through it unless you go through Congress or different legislation, which Ken Paxton did in Texas, but that's 1 out of 49 states.
Right.
Well, it's also why they have over the last decade continuously called language harmful or offensive, right? It used to be sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That was America fucking saying, bro.
And now you call them the wrong pronoun. Holy shit.
It's violence. It's violence. You're threatening my life.
I am sorry that you have a beard and I assume that you were a man.
Yeah, right.
Like,
women can grow hair too.
Like, dude, your email, your name is like Daniel Johnson.
Can't tell the difference.
Right.
Your email signature says Daniel Johnson.
What
and
do
it's
you
got
think
he,
I am?
Him. I'm like, no shit, dude.
Bro, look, these people are their own worst enemy. Those people.
Yeah, 100%.
But like the point of what we're talking about here with the free speech shit, you know, the way this happened, and I'm old enough to have witnessed it. I witnessed it happen. The way this happened when they came on, okay, before there was social media. It came on and it got so big and so powerful so fast. Like so fast. I mean, it was a snap of a finger. Zuckerberg went from fucking starting Facebook to being the richest dude on the planet in a very short amount of time, or one of the richest dudes on the planet at like 20 fucking years old. During that time, okay, and this was in business too, because business had to adjust as well. But during that time, there was no thought or consideration to like, fuck, what should the rules be about censoring? What should the rules be about free speech on these platforms? Because it was new. All right. Now, while there wasn't a thought because it was so new, it got so big and it got so powerful and it became the main way that we all communicate. And after it became the main way we all communicate, these people were so fucking rich, they were already paying our government to not regulate the industry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it came on. Nobody thought about it. By the time they thought about it, these people are paying the people to not regulate it. And that's what's been going on.
Yeah.
And so we have Facebook and Instagram and Google and all these companies pouring all this money into the politicians, which happen to be the Democrats, to not fucking put any rules into technology, which allows them to censor your speech, censor narratives, to take your shit down at their discretion for whatever reason they want to do, with no repercussions at all. And so that's how we got here. And so we have to have some common sense regulation around the internet. You know, we cannot have social platforms creating narratives and then using their own ability to create accounts to prop those narratives up and make them look popular, okay? And then to pay people, Hollywood, to put this shit into play, all right? Because they're making so much money, and then suppress the other side completely and make everybody feel like they're all alone, call them harmful hate speech, domestic terrorists, okay? When in reality, these people over here that have been suppressed outnumber these people like 8-1.
Which part of me, bro, like that's why I believe, man, that this shit, like that was all part of the
They're living
plan.
in a house of cards.
I think it was all part of the plan, bro.
Bro, DJ.
Like, I think the government has been involved in social media since day fucking
Well, that's
one.
a fact. The fucking CIA had a fucking operation exactly like Facebook.
LifeLog program
Yes.
that ended on February 3rd,
There you
2004. Facebook launched on February 4th, 2004.
There you go.
And what's
saying.
shocking to me is the fact that people haven't put two and two together, thinking that Mark Zuckerberg, a college kid in 2004, was able to maintain servers, because Facebook never crashed, if you can recall. Think about Truth Social and Getter. They crashed relentlessly in 2022 because they couldn't onboard people quick enough with the server space. Yet you're going to believe that this motherfucker had enough money and had enough technological insight
Out of his dorm
to
room.
do this in a dorm room?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you need, if anyone wants to look at server space that you need to store that amount of volume of information, data, memory, look at that. They had millions onboarding a day on Facebook. Seamless. Meanwhile, Trump, one of the richest men in the world, building out Truth Social, couldn't even onboard half the damn, I mean, it wasn't even half the country. It was like 25 maybe % of conservatives that even tried to get a Truth Social account. And people are like, oh, wow, that's weird. Like they ended the facial recognition program right before that, the day before, and Mark Zuckerberg launched it the next day. And people don't think that social media was an asset. Everyone's
what
worried
I'm
about the
saying.
government spying on us.
I think
We do it
the
ourselves.
government
No,
has
bro.
always been fucking
No,
involved,
listen,
man.
dude. You're not connecting it. You're not connecting it, bro. You're not seeing it. It's not that they're involved. It's that they're responsible.
Yeah, they're saying, yeah.
No.
Interchangeable.
No, it's not interchangeable. Being involved is like, hey, scratch my back and I'll scratch your back. That's being involved.
Mhm.
This is their thing.
Right. Yeah, I believe they installed
Yes.
Zuckerberg. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. For me,
Yes.
I'm with it, bro. I'm with it.
The government always keeps 1 degree of separation. It's just like Fast and Furious, where they just give the guns to the Mexican cartels and then say, "Have at it."
Yeah,
their hands are off.
Now that's my opinion.
Speculation.
But there's tons of evidence that I've gathered to make me form that opinion.
Bro, the dots make the picture, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the government can be sued for intermeddling, and that's why they don't do it. Just like with Twitter, they can go down for that. Rogan O'Hanley, DC Drano's account, that case is going to the Supreme Court because there's emails, smoking gun evidence of the Secretary of State directing Twitter to censor him. They have the actual emails from the government accounts in California directing Twitter to censor him. That is going to the Supreme Court because they're acting as the government agent. Therefore, it's the government censoring speech. They're doing what the government, they're carrying it out for them.
The Constitution. Yeah.
That's why they keep that degree of separation, like Andy's talking about, because if they are directly involved, they're going to get slammed. So if you run the dirty work for them, no harm, no foul.
Right. It's crazy, man. Guys, tell us what you guys think. Drop them down in the comments. Should TikTok go? Should it stay? Let us know in the comments.
I mean, to answer that question, to me, it's debatable. I think it's a legit debatable thing because at one point it serves their interests in it going away, which I hate.
Yeah.
But on the other point, I can also see that the information, what TikTok is doing to our youth is not good.
And there's other countries that have put in regulations and curtails.
They blame that screen time addiction for the problems.
Yeah.
Well, no shit. If you read the book, The Chaos Machine, it actually explains step by step how they get you addicted to it and how nefarious how much work and effort goes in to creating the screen time addiction. Here's the bottom line. The more time we live in the virtual world, the more money they make, the more power they have. They don't care about how it affects us. Okay. The less time we spend on those screens, the less power and control they have. That is fucking it.
No doubt.
That is fucking it. Okay.
No doubt,
so if you want to really bury these motherfuckers, realize that and start to make some changes about your lifestyle. Because I have, and I like it a lot. I'm having a lot more fun.
Yeah, that's real, man. We got headline number 3. Headline number 3 reads, Trump grand jury canceled for rest of the week. Alvin Bragg facing even more questions as panel's vote on an indictment is pushed back to at least next week as he struggles with weak case. I think it was important to talk about some legal stuff since we do have an actual legal mind in the room. There's a lot in this, so we need some clarity.
Hey, Steph, if you're listening, bro, I fucking told you, just so you know.
Oh, he thought he was going to jail?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
We got a little argument about it the other night.
Hey, man, a little
Not
discourse.
An argument, but
a little discourse.
A little discussion. I love Steph.
Good dude.
But I told you, Steph.
I fuck with his music. His music is actually pretty decent. Yeah.
He does got some good stuff.
Yeah. So let's dig into this, man. So this is a Daily Mail article. It says, the grand jury will not be convening for the rest of this week in the case of Donald Trump's hush money payment to porn star Stormy Daniels. The new reports come after sources told DailyMail.com that Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is having trouble convincing jurors to indict Trump. Many people, including Trump, expected the former president to be indicted this week, but an official confirmed to DailyMail.com that Bragg canceled the grand jury on Wednesday and Thursday. It remains unclear why the grand jury is not reconvening for the rest of the week amid reports that the panel needs to hear from a final witness before levying a judgment. One source told DailyMail.com, quote, they are having trouble convincing the jury to swallow the case. It's a weak case and has caused division in the DA's office. Other reports suggested that the DA's office could contemplate a change in strategy. Trump has urged his supporters to take to the streets and protest as he still maintains complete innocence of any wrongdoing in the allegations. The former president acknowledged that he approved a $130,000 payment to porn star Stormy Daniels to settle what he called a, quote, nuisance fee, but denied the affair. And everybody's talking about it, even CNN. CNN is talking about it. And I was actually, I don't want to say relieved, refreshed by their take on it. It was the first time that I kind of saw, okay, all right, CNN's, maybe they're just trying to, maintain some viewership and keep eyes, but it wasn't no bullshit from CNN. I was kind of proud to, or happy to see that. They laid it out clearly in one of their articles. They lay these questions out. And one of the questions in the article says, could Trump ever go to jail? And the article reads, it says, he hasn't been indicted, much less tried or convicted. Any indictment, even for a Class E felony in New York, would be the kind of non-violent offense that would not lead to jail time for any defendant. Quote, I don't expect Trump to be put in jail if he is indicted for any of these charges. Jail time would only come if he were convicted and sentenced to jail time, said Richard Hassan, a law professor at the University of California, Los Angeles. Hassan also said the Secret Service would have to arrange for his protection in jail, something that is logistically challenging. Now, here's the interesting thing that's happening. They're trying to control the narrative, of course, saying that, like this article reads, MAGA protesters in Manhattan crowded by anti-Trump rivals.
There was two.
Bro.
There was two people that showed up. You got the video?
I got the video.
Oh, thank you, man.
I got the video,
See,
man. And the demonstrators.
You're on it today, bro.
I got you, baby.
All right.
I got you. This article reads, demonstrators who want a Donald Trump indictment far outnumbered MAGA supporters Tuesday morning outside the Manhattan criminal court, where the former president is expected to be charged as early as Wednesday. Across the street from the anti-Trump rally, 5 supporters of the former president walked around holding signs, including one that highlighted liberal billionaire George Soros' support for Bragg, a common right-wing talking point. Because that's all it is. It's just a talking point, right?
And everybody's right wing.
And everybody's right wing. Trump has seized on a $500,000 donation to Bragg from a political action committee funded by Soros that was part of a nationwide effort to help elect progressive district attorneys. So is it a talking point?
They're not progressive. They're fucking communist anarchists. They fucking are intentionally creating destruction and death in their own cities.
Very simply.
They're not fucking progressive.
So here's the video you were talking about.
Yeah. Did you see this video, bro?
No.
This is great.
This is the video, and it was a tweet that was made by Brick Suits. It says over 8 million people live in New York City, and exactly 2 of them came out to protest against Trump, while 20 or so members of the MSM filled it. The media is a lie. That's it.
Figure out an exposure.
Now look at all these cameras once it pans around. All mainstream media. And this is what we see. This is what we see.
Kind of like the Bob Dylan thing.
This is what we see.
They're probably the fucking mic guys that like hold the boom. And they just hand them like a paper sign, like, "Hey,
Hey, go
do
hold
something."
this real quick. Yeah.
Oh shit, dude.
It's like that meme where like do something. They're poking with a stick.
Yeah. Now, I mean, and there's a lot of different talks. Apparently, like this New York Post headline reads, it says Trump wants to appear in handcuffs if he's charged in New York
Yeah,
City.
he's taking an AOC route.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's saying,
Remember when AOC walked away with fake handcuffs?
yeah. But saying former President Donald Trump has reportedly said that he wants to be hauled into court in handcuffs if he's slapped with unprecedented charges in the hush money case involving porn star Stormy Daniels. Trump, 76, told advisors of his plan, saying that if he has to go through the ordeal of getting arrested and arraigned, he'd prefer making it, quote, a spectacle, The Guardian said Wednesday, citing unidentified sources close to him. Now, we do know that yesterday, this is Thursday when this was recorded, so the 22nd of March, we do know that a 2018 letter shows Michael Cohen lying to feds about Stormy Daniels' payment. It was a newly surfaced, the article reads, the newly surfaced letter from 2018 shows Michael Cohen lying to federal election officials about his infamous $130,000 payment to porn star Stormy Daniels, which later helped send him to prison. The letter, obtained by the Post on Wednesday, emerged as the disbarred lawyer appeared poised to become the star witness in an unprecedented criminal case against his ex-boss, former President Donald Trump. In it, Cohen told the Federal Election Commission that he, quote, used his own personal funds to facilitate a payment of $130,000 to Miss Stephanie Clifford, a.k.a. Daniels, in 2016. Quote, neither the Trump organization nor the Trump campaign was a party to the transaction with Miss Clifford, and neither reimbursed Mr. Cohen for the payment directly or indirectly. Cohen lawyer Stephen Ryan wrote on February 8th, 2018. But a little more than 6 months later, Cohen changed his tune and copped a plea to a laundry list of federal crimes that included making an excessive campaign contribution to Trump, now 76, by paying Daniels to keep quiet about her alleged 2006 affair with him. A lot of weird stuff going on. Have you guys been seeing the deep fakes pictures of the arrest of Trump?
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude, they're good. They're scary good. Here's a couple guys. Remember, you go on andyfrisella.com and find these pictures. it blows my mind. These are AI generated pictures. It blows my mind.
Well, hold on. You know what's crazier? Is that you don't know how long AI's even been around.
No, yeah.
You don't know how many of the pictures that you actually think are fucking real are actually bullshit.
Yeah.
None of us do.
Yeah.
Because those do look very real.
Bro.
Make sure you post those on the
Absolutely.
page. Make sure you put them in the show.
I mean, look at these.
Yeah. Yeah. You could black and white that in 50 years and people will think that's real history.
Yeah.
Shocking, huh?
And this is with like high res stuff. Go back, 50 years when we didn't have like the same quality of an original photo.
Pixels.
It's like scribbles and shit.
Yeah.
So how long have they had this technology and how have they been using it?
Before the 60s when we went to the moon.
Yeah, no shit.
You won't find any arguments
shit.
with me there.
So Trump did release he released a, what do you call them? Truths, I guess. He released a truth this morning, saying, quote, "Why won't Bragg drop this case? Everybody says there is no crime here. I did nothing wrong. It was all made up by a convicted nut job with zero credibility who has been disputed by highly respected professionals at every turn. Bragg refuses to stop despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. He is a Soros-backed animal who just doesn't care about right or wrong, no matter how many people are hurt. This is no legal system. This is the Gestapo. This is Russia and China, but worse, disgraceful." Now, I want to bring up a tweet, Mike, that you actually made a couple of days ago, challenging DeSantis to kind of step in and take over. You tweeted, "Trump is a Florida citizen. If DeSantis truly wanted to run in 2024, he capitalized. As governor, he could investigate any charges against Trump to ensure that Trump, as a Florida citizen, isn't extradited in violation of his rights. Biggest power move he could make right now." You still stand by that? You think DeSantis, because he's been kind of wavering and like, we don't really know where he's at.
I stand by the statement. I think a lot of people played into it as if I was making the statement when I called it a power move, as if DeSantis was going to follow through entirely to block extradition. And what I meant by that was with DeSantis losing in the polls, he needs to get himself back up. And the way that he could posture would be by putting himself out as like the bigger person, where after Trump's been shitting on him across the board, he still steps in and defends Trump's rights because he sees Trump as a Florida citizen, not as a person, and investigates the veracity of the charge prior to allowing the extradition to ultimately go through.
Yeah.
Because what that would do is it would show to the American people, I don't care who you are, what it is, even if you're my enemy, I'm still going to protect you, as like a messaging angle.
1000%.
So I was saying this as a political move, not as a carrying out or effectuating, some sort of intermediary that would buffer or block extradition if that were to happen. And I think that a lot of, again, I forget who I'm communicating with as the general public a lot of the times, where something rudimentary seems to be far beyond that which people can understand. Like, people are saying, what about Article 1, Section 2 of the Constitution? I'm like, the federal Constitution? And this is a DA in Manhattan, in the state level, indicting him. I'm like, do you want to reconcile that?
Right.
And of course, they have no idea. There were lawyers bitching about it. I'm like, did you take the bar? I mean, some of the shit that I see these people saying, I'm like, it's literally that he has the ability to vet. If he has a good faith basis to allege that the allegations are frivolous, you can look into it. And the funny thing is, out of the entire articles, they didn't actually talk about what the real facts underlying the criminal allegations are. They keep mentioning the number 130. They didn't mention the number 50K. That's the difference. Has anyone even heard of the $50,000 yet? Because everyone only talked about 130. The $50,000 was the monthly retainer that he paid to have Cohen on. It's a catch-22, because he either can disclose that 50 grand as a campaign expenditure or as a personal expense or a business expense. If he doesn't disclose it as a campaign expenditure, but does as a personal expense, they're going to go after him for FEC violations for not disclosing campaign funds. They disclose it as a campaign expense and not a personal expenditure or business expenditure, they're going to go after him through the IRS. So it's a catch-22.
Right.
Because they don't properly disclose. Allegedly, you can't use it for both. And the other $130,000 payment that they're going after, the first charge was the falsification of business records stemming out of that $50K retainer. The second charge was that he was using it and misappropriating it for the purpose of benefiting his campaign, which that one factually could satisfy the $130,000 payment. But the problem with that is, in order to show that Trump used that to benefit his campaign by silencing or chilling some sort of speech and made that payment for the purpose of doing so, not only do you have to show the knowledge and intent that he actually knew the payment was being made and what it was being made for and what the intent was. Proving intent is one of the hardest things in the legal realm because you have to get inside someone's mind and prove what they were thinking.
Right.
How the fuck do you know what I'm thinking?
Right.
It's hard to prove. But on top of that, they've blasted him for 7 years, calling him a narcissistic egomaniac. And I'm not really going to argue that he's not an egomaniac, but how are you going to prove that the only reason he did it was to benefit his campaign when he damn well, based on the way that the far left has described him, would have done it for his own reputational salvage?
Alone. Yeah.
So how are you going to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt? You can't. But Bragg is still trying to bring these charges. And now he's realizing, oh shit, if I charge him and it fails, I just almost guaranteed his reelection.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, how big of a disgrace can you be? Because I don't think people understand. He can't get a grand jury together. It's only you and the grand jury in that room. There's no defense lawyer. There's no defendant. It's sealed. Nothing that you say to them can be used against you. No one can even see what was said to them. So for all we know, he could be in there lying his ass off, saying anything that he can cognitively put together into a sentence in his feeble, mediocre at best IQ mind. That large behemoth can't even string together enough words to convince New Yorkers to levy an indictment. We are in New York.
The most liberal state. Yeah, right.
And that fat fuck can't even get a group of people to agree to charge Trump. And you want to talk about a weak case?
Right.
I mean,
it's suicide from a lot of different angles. And what I think happened, by the way, I agree with you 100% on DeSantis. DeSantis is out of touch with his own brand right now, at this current time. His whole appeal is that he is a nice, jolly guy who does the right thing. And when he doesn't stand up for Trump, he misses a massive opportunity to literally catapult himself. The whole reason that anybody liked him is because he hasn't bought into any of this other bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's been a good dude. All right. Had he said, hey, look, I don't really care what Trump says about me. I don't care that he's got some funny nicknames. He can have those nicknames. You know, that's Trump. It is what it is. But this shit is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to allow it. Bro, he automatically springboards ahead of Trump in the polls.
We'll probably flip it completely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they're missing him. Dude, he's got bad advisors around him.
that's his problem the whole time.
Yeah.
Trump's advisors are terrible. And the reason they're terrible.
They both are. And they both come, I know a lot of them, they both come from the same fucking pool.
Yeah. And I mean, here's the problem. The way that we win, and people keep saying Trump or DeSantis, and I'm like, or why are you like pigeonholing this? And I understand that there's two different ways of looking at this. There's a pragmatic consideration, which is based on a two-party system, who's going to be the likely GOP candidate in 2024. But there's also what is best for America, which is a separate and mutually exclusive question. Like, what is best for America is not Trump or DeSantis, but it will be between Trump or DeSantis on the red ticket in that election year. But what you need is someone that's not a politician. And people keep saying Trump isn't a politician, but the moment you step in office, you are a politician. And there isn't enough people in this country who are willing to actually take on roles where you can make a change. And what we are doing as a country is failing, because the only way we're ever going to make massive amounts of change is to have a movement of significant number of candidates run uniformly and take office together and band together. We saw what they did with McCarthy, with those 20 people that held out on the votes for speaker. They grabbed McCarthy by the balls because you have a motion to vacate, which only one member of the House needs in order to recall that vote. And he doesn't have the number. He doesn't have 218. So that's why McCarthy opened up the J6 stuff, not because he wanted to. He's owned by the party. But he had to choose between whether he wanted speaker so badly that he was willing to actually follow through on his promises with that group led by Boebert, MTG, Gates. I know people say a lot of this shit about them, and there's not everything I agree with that they do, but at least those three are true to what they actually stand for, and they do follow through on what their word is. They make mistakes, they make decisions I don't agree with, but no politician and no person is perfect. But America is never going to politically disavow or politically, navigate themselves out of the hole we've dug ourselves into. It's just never going to happen, but citizens don't want to actually step up and make a difference.
No.
Yeah, I think they've also realized, the suicide thing about this case is like, I think this dude's got himself in a fucking pickle now. He didn't think ahead because he's not capable of fucking thinking ahead. Like, if I do this, what will the actual repercussions be? And they figured out that the repercussions are going to be that everybody in the fucking country is going to rally around this dude because they're going to expose the bias and the criminal nature of our actual justice system in front of the world. And it's going to cause likely Trump to become president again.
Yeah. Which makes sense why we're getting
Now
videos like this
floundering.
resurfacing, trying to stir up and fuck up the unity, bro.
I think this shit's to hide the banks in the Trump indictment. I think it's all to hide the banks.
Yeah, I think so too.
The only reason they did this
that was
whole
like literally
charade-
the next sentence out of my mouth. I think all of this shit
it just
is about
backfired
the
on
banks.
him. Yeah.
The reason that they're doing this whole Trump thing is because all you have to do is talk about Trump, and there is no singular word in the English language that can piss someone off at a quicker speed than the word Trump. It either gets you to cheer or it gets you to yell.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing more divisive than the word Trump in the United States of America. So let's talk about the most divisive thing while our economy's up the shitter and the Fed increased the interest rates yesterday again. And people don't even understand that the Silicon Valley Bank was literally controlled by the Feds. 95% of the funds that were in Silicon Valley Bank were not FDIC backed because they exceeded the $250,000 limit. Well, where do those funds go? Into treasury stocks and bonds that just plummeted. The floor fell out from under them. And then you see another bank fall and another bank fall. Well, there were 26 private jets that convened in Omaha, Nebraska with White House officials 2 days ago. That's happened before, once, 2008. So right as we go into this economic collapse, let's talk about Trump so no one actually pays attention to what's going on.
Yeah, and also let's stir up a whole bunch of race shit.
Yeah.
Yep. So everyone starts fighting with each other because hell, if they're poor and they're pissed, maybe they'll kill each other.
Yeah.
And they're going to forget about us here in Washington.
Well, that's their evergreen play. That's the play they run over and over and over again on our citizens.
It's like throwing a
Our whole
ball in
lives.
the yard of your dog.
Our whole lives they've done this. Like, dude, look. We do not have a free country. Like, you guys who think this country is free, you're fucking delusional. You're not actually looking at it. You're not stepping back and saying, what is this country supposed to be and what is it in reality? And those two things do not go together. They don't. We had a revolution in this country over 3% fucking tax, bro. You, me, and everybody listening is paying most of their money to the government. Most of it. Like, until we all understand that we are being pitted against each other over something as primitive as someone's skin color, so that other people who are not part of us, who not see us as equals, who do not fucking care about us, can take the money and do whatever they want with it and take the power and do whatever they want with it. Until we realize that. And this is going to take black people and white people standing together and saying, this is bullshit. This means black people in the black community, when you see black people fucking saying anti-white shit, you got to stand up and say, that's fucking bullshit. When white people, when you see your fucking homies getting pissed off now and saying some racist shit, you got to stand up and say, that ain't the fucking way, bro. That ain't right, and you know it ain't right. And until we all get together and start shaming motherfuckers that are buying into this racial narrative for being real racist, because that's what they are. If you look at someone, I don't give a fuck what you look at. You can look at them from a white perspective, and you can look at brown people and say, oh, they're fucking brown. Or you could be a brown person and you can look at fucking white people and say, oh, they're fucking white. And if that's your determining factor on what you believe to be any sort of relevance whatsoever, you're a fucking racist. That's the definition of a racist, judging someone by the fucking race that they are, not by the content of their character. And where the fuck are all the people who are claiming, dude, we can't buy into it. We can't fucking buy into it. And the more we buy into it and the more we fucking argue with each other, yeah, but, this motherfucker, I wasn't even around then.
Neither were you.
I have a proposal for slavery and how we can handle this amicably, which is amnesty. I'm in favor of amnesty. Every single person who ever owned a slave should pay every former slave handsomely. And if you're not in one of those two groups, shut the fuck up.
There we go. That's a fair solution. That's a fucking fair solution.
I'm down with it.
Like, bro, I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of being called racist because I'm fucking white, bro. I'm tired of fucking being told I have white privilege when I'm the only fucking race that doesn't have any privilege. Okay? That's the reality, bro. And like, dude, we have to fucking stop this fucking shit. That's bullshit. It's getting more and more and more steam. And this is their fucking playbook that they're running on us. They're running it on us. And if you're arguing with someone or saying something about race one way or the other, you're falling for it.
I mean, they're always saying that we have white privilege. I was like, really? Because my parents bought me and made me do chores for free. Like, that's closer to slavery than you. like, yeah, I was like, I've always wanted to know. I'm like, Mom, do you swipe a debit card or like write a check? Like, how do you acquire a human?
How much was it?
Like, they won't tell me. I think it got me on discount or some shit. Like, I was probably on sale. But like, I wrote about that in second grade. We had to talk about a historical figure we related to. And I talked about Lincoln. He freed the slaves. And I was like, yeah, my mom makes me do chores and doesn't give me an allowance. And she paid for me. My teacher was like, what the fuck? And, you know, but in my head, I was like, I saw the analogy. And people are like, white privilege. I'm like, I was bought.
Right.
Like, literally. And I'm 1/16 Native American. Like, I could live on a reservation, motherfucker. And they're like, I don't believe you. I'm like, it was on the receipt.
Come on.
So, you know, but I'm like, damn, why are we even talk about this anymore? And they get mad at me. I'm like, why are you mad at me?
Right.
Like, aren't I pissed about your narrative?
Dude, the race issue needs to fucking die.
It has to,
It needs to die, bro. We're never going to have peace. And there's the people propagating it on either side you're never going to get what you want with that.
I've started filing race discrimination suits. And what I do is I don't mention the race. I say a race that was different than the other person's race. I never say which person in the fact pattern is white or which person is black. I never mention if they're even white or black. They could be Asian and Latino.
Right.
Because I'm trying to take the impetus out of preconceived notions where if you hear a discrimination lawsuit that's filed based on civil rights, you presume it's from some far left wacko that's standing up for a black person who is treated like shit by white people. That is the narrative that is ingrained in your mind. So I want to take it out of that. Let's get back to the rule of law and actually look at race discrimination on the sheer fact of this person's race and that person's race are different. And that's the only fact that matters in terms of their identities for that protected class. So I'm seeing, like, I just filed that a couple weeks ago. I'm waiting to see how that one goes because I'm trying to fix this narrative through the legal system that's tattered and beat to hell right now. But our legislatures aren't doing it. No one in Congress, no one that's been enacted wants to solve the problem. They just want to create more problems to campaign on the promise of resolving and then next cycle repeat. So I'm going to see if that works. What's the court going to do? I mean, gender's the other one. I'm going to file a discrimination suit with a cisgender girl against a transgender girl and be like, what are you going to do now? You made this shit up. You going to say it's not real?
Right.
Where are you going to go with that one?
Oh, fuck. That'd be fun to watch.
So, like, we have to start solving problems, not perpetuating them and bitching about them. Like, find solutions. If you don't have a solution, don't talk about the problem because I don't really give a fuck about how it makes you feel.
I think most people don't talk about it. I think we're being forced to talk about it.
Yeah.
I think most people are cool as fuck. I think 99% of people out there, bro, are fucking just people that want to be left the fuck alone. And they're not even aware. They're not even aware of how heavy the oppression is that is carried upon their shoulders. Like they think freedom is like being able to go to the park or like walk around free. That's only part of freedom. If you have to pay,
that's called free will. That's not freedom.
If you have to pay over 50% of the money that you earn to have that right, you're not free, bro. You're being extorted because they're telling you, if you don't pay my fucking tax, you can no longer go to the park and walk around and be free. You see what I'm saying?
Go to jail.
That's not freedom. Yeah. And like, dude, we need to redefine what actual freedom means and what it represents and what it looks like for people in our country. Because a lot of people are getting super fucking rich off the backs of regular fucking Americans. That's us, by the way, by lying to us about us being actually free. And because we're not shackled up with chains, which is our idea of the anti-freedom, right? That's like when you think of like not being free, where do you think? You think of being in jail, right? And because we can't see that we are, we're in jail, we can't see the shackles on us in any way.
Yeah, you don't wear handcuffs in jail.
We
all the time.
are in jail. It's our phones. We just can't see the bars to the cage.
Listen, this whole country is a massive fucking jail. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And if you don't fucking pay your fees, we put you in a harder jail.
Go solitary.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that I say on this, that's the singular most important thing that I say this entire episode, is the fact that we value fundamental rights as a country. But what determines what the citizens in our country perceive to be fundamental? It is culture. It is societal norms. What we perceive to be the definition of freedom is, by definition, what dictates the rights that we have, because that is where the Supreme Court looks to in terms of determining whether a right is in fact fundamental. For example, Lawrence v. Texas, 2003 case that decriminalized, it was about the decriminalization of homosexual sodomy. It was literally a crime in Texas to be gay. Well, I mean, I'm not going to, hopefully you guys understand homosexual sodomy. You don't need to explain that.
I mean, he's fucking him in the ass. I'll explain it.
Anyways, that was illegal in Texas. You couldn't butt fuck in Texas until
no butt fucking down here.
On 9/11,
you must not be from around here.
Literally on 9/11, if you were butt fucking in Texas, you went to jail.
Damn.
That was overturning a case, Bowers v. Hardwick, where the same question was presented to the Supreme Court, and they declined to find that it was unconstitutional to criminalize homosexual sodomy. Well, what changed? Culture. Well, since then, what else has changed? Legalization of gay marriage, protected class of sexual orientation. Now you have minors committing permanent, irreversible, gender-modifying transition surgery using the same chemicals that they use to chemically castrate people into children, and they're circumventing parental consent. So when we're talking about defining freedom, that's why this is so important, because look how far that goes and how quick it goes.
Yeah, and if it swings culturally,
well, that's also why I've been saying for fucking 3 years, bro, this is not, we need a cultural revolution. That comes from higher standards. That's the saying I say over and over. Personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion, because if we raise our standards, we change the culture. If we change the culture, we change our rights.
And we don't have a God-fearing society anymore. And when you take God out of society and you see your purpose on earth as being that stays on earth, and once your life here is over, that's it. If you don't have a higher purpose than what it is that you're on earth for in the time and in the present, you don't have any reason to not capitulate to whatever the most powerful entity is on earth at that time. You're going to sway back and forth. But if you live life with God in mind and you have the drive to do something that is bigger than your purpose on earth, you realize that this is like the pregame to like the actual, Super Bowl. Like, use your time on earth to fulfill and refine who you are. But if you take God out of society, there's nothing that will strive or motivate you to do something beyond whatever it is that the highest entity that you look up to is dictating. And that is where they eviscerate Christianity, like you were mentioning earlier, with like what they're doing in Israel, by making it almost a crime to say the word Jesus. Talk about Jesus. We don't have people that adhere in any way, shape, or form to Christianity. And I'm saying go to church and thump the Bible and get all pissed off because someone says the word fuck on the internet. Like, fuck you. My point is, have a spiritual relationship and have a purpose and a sense of self that's bigger than you on earth, because we've lost it.
Yeah,
How can you have a sense of what's right or wrong if you have no fear that there's repercussions for your evil actions?
Mm-hmm. And then remove the actual ones in the
other than spiritually.
Society.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm making the point you're making.
Yeah. Other than spiritually, you can't.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
It's like asking Helen Keller to navigate.
Yeah.
Fucking just pick a spinner in a circle and tell her to walk.
Yeah.
You're just going to go blindly, no pun intended, to whatever they want you to do.
Yeah, man.
And people don't realize that. People don't realize how far we've gone.
No, bro. Listen, dude. I talk to all these people. Look, dude, everywhere I go, you fucking saw it last night when I was leaving the fucking restaurant. I got people come up to me and they're like, bro, thanks for what you do. It's fucking amazing what you do. You're doing this. Thanks for saying what you say. Blah, 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 blah.
And you shouldn't talk to them.
Yeah, but that's beside the point. The point is the fucking, what are you doing? What are you doing? See what I'm saying? Like, dude, it's going to take everybody realizing what the fuck is fucked up and saying something. I have so many grown ass men that come to me in public and shake my hand and say, thank you for what you do regarding what we're doing here, right? Spreading the message, spreading awareness, getting the words out, using my platform for this purpose. But like that's where it ends. It's like, what, dude, without you motherfuckers, like backing that message and going out and standing and holding that line in real life, nothing happens. I'm just a dude that fucking talks on the internet.
The biggest compliment you can get is coming up and saying, hey, this is what I've done.
Yeah.
You've
This is what
inspired
I've
me
said.
to do this.
Don't
Yeah.
fucking tell me what I've said. I know what I've said. If you come up and say, hey, this is what I'm doing to push back, tell me what you did. And I'll look at you and I'll have a hell of a lot more respect for you than say, man, I wish I could say the things that you say.
Bro,
Thanks for saying
which
them.
is what they all say.
Well, why the fuck can't you say it? Is there duct tape over your mouth? I see your lips moving right now.
No, dude, Mike, what they're failing to realize is that those are like, you people who do that shit are the reason we're here. It's not them. It's not the blue hair and the pink hair. It's not these evil politicians. It's not fucking George Soros.
It's us.
It's your fucking willingness to tolerate it and be silent about it and not back up the message that you know to be true in your heart out of your motherfucking mouth and into your community. That's what's costing us the entire fucking game. Because everywhere I go, doesn't matter if they're black, doesn't matter if they're white, doesn't matter if they're Native American, doesn't matter if they are an immigrant or a naturalized citizen, or it doesn't fucking matter. Everybody's looking around being like, this is fucking fucked up, bro. This is fucked up. And if everybody's looking around and nobody's saying anything, those people are going to continue to get their way.
But put 8 people in a circle, not one of them wants to speak up first, but pull them all aside individually and they'll say it to you that it's fucked up, but no one will say it to one another because they're afraid of being the oddball out because they've just lost this, like people are so insecure. They have no of self-worth or accomplishment. It's like, fuck you. I don't need anyone else. Like my squad, I'd rather take 2 loyal motherfuckers that are my friends and take on the world
than
capitulate to a mob.
I'd rather be able to look in the mirror and say, I never fucking caved to that shit. I don't want to give a fuck if a single other person believes what I'm saying. If you don't agree with that, what I'm saying, then use what I'm saying as an example for you to fucking stand on what you believe. That's the point of America. The point of America is we do not fucking silence our beliefs. The last 15, 20 years with political correctness and the silent majority and fucking I'm offended and fucking all these cultural weapons that they've introduced into society to get us to self-censor. All right, that's the point of these things. Political correctness, for those of you who are not of the same generation that I am, is a new concept. When I was growing up, there was no such thing as being politically correct. You just said the shit the way it was. And if people didn't like it, guess what? Too fucking bad. And if it hurts your feelings, guess what? Go fucking change whatever it is because that's the fucking truth. And they stopped us from telling the truth to each other under this guise of offending people. And they've conditioned us to where now we're a neutered fucking species and we don't say what we actually believe because we're afraid we're going to offend these people out there that actually don't even fucking exist. That's where we are. And they've used technology and they've used media and they've used all of their powers to make us believe that anybody that thinks pro-freedom, that anybody that thinks common sense is a bigot or an outcast or at the very least alone. And nobody else thinks like that. But it's interesting because my show, which I switched in 2019, which was the #1 entrepreneur show on the fucking internet, has grown 4 fucking times over since I started talking about this shit. So I know you motherfuckers get it. There's going to come a time that you're going to have to put your own fucking nuts on the line and say, this is what the fuck I stand for. And because that's not happening, we are fucking losing this country. That's the bottom line. It's not them. It's not Soros. It's not Bill Gates. It's not this. Are those people pieces of shit? Yeah, that's my opinion of them. However, if all of you said no fucking more, instead of just ducking your head into your fucking iPhone or your iPad or your fucking life and saying, I don't want to deal with that shit. If all of us said, hey, fuck this shit, it would be over tomorrow. Tomorrow, it'd be over.
And there's enough leaders that are willing to be the first one to speak out. Andy speaks out. I speak out. There's a lot of people in America that will take that stand, but no one wants to even fucking follow. People don't even want to just get even close to going against the grain anymore because somehow they think that there's a moral or legal obligation to give a fuck about other people's feelings. Well, newsflash, there is not. and they have to call it politically correct because they can't just leave it at singularly correct because it's incorrect because it's a lie. What's correct is the truth. And if I have to veil this under some different angle of using softer language to accommodate you, because you can't say handicapped, you're handy-capable. Well, no, you're not fucking handy-capable. Climb a ladder, bitch. Like, no, it's like you're handicapped. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, why do we coddle this stuff? Or you're vertically challenged. Nah, dude, you're just a dwarf.
Right.
They do erase definitions out of the
minor
dictionary.
attractive person.
A minor attractive. No, you're a fucking pedophile.
Period.
Why is it that they just erase and change names and thinks that is eradicating things?
Because
if
that's
the
how
case,
they get their way.
then delete cancer out of the medical dictionary. That'd be a good start.
Yeah, no shit. Poverty too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Make us all rich. We'll change the language. It's not poverty. It's financially
Challenged.
suppressed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all bullshit.
It's not rich, it's lucky. They did that
Well,
one
of
already.
course that.
Yeah, right.
We all know that, especially if
Yeah,
you're
man.
white.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. But guys, let's get into our final segment of the show. As always, our thumbs up segment. This is thumbs up or dumb as fuck. This is where we show a headline. We get one of those two things. This is an interesting one. So our thumbs up headline reads, out of this world, TikTok time traveler claims the Earth will be invaded by aliens with 8,000 abducted.
Please take me.
Today.
Yeah, no, please, me.
Today.
Today?
I
Yeah.
want to go.
How
Yeah.
much time they got left?
We got about 2 hours.
What time zone are they in?
Eastern, Central, I believe. So,
Take that motherfucker as one of those 8,000.
yeah, it's one of TikTok's growing trends. People claiming that they are from the future and making predictions about what is to
Oh,
come.
this is where I fucked up. I didn't say I was from the future.
Oh, God, yeah.
If I would have told everybody the last 3 years that I was from the future and all this shit was going to happen, y'all would have listened.
That's it.
With trans ageism, just go back in time.
I'm from the past.
Bro, I fucked up. Now, hold on. We gotta scrub the show. We gotta start over. We gotta start over, bro. This is where we fucked up. We had an error.
This is Andy and DJ
on our
cruised the internet. Yeah, this
I'm
is
actually from the future, and everything I'm saying to you is absolutely true.
right. There you go. That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Bro, we've come so far as so-called conspiracy theorists that now the normies are telling us aliens are coming and we're like, no, they're not.
Man, that's so true.
Like, what the fuck,
Yeah,
man?
man.
Like,
Yeah.
you guys called us crazy,
Right.
and now we're supposed to think that we're crazy for saying aliens are not coming to abduct you.
Right.
Dude, you know what's fucking insane? It's so fucking weird that you even bring this up. Cause like, dude, I was thinking about this. Cause we've been talking about this for like years, right?
Mhm.
Like we saw all this shit happening. But dude, a lot of these people, like they're like just now seeing any of it.
It was a
Like
it was a
all
lag.
of this
Yeah.
shit is like being piled on them at once. Like, man,
Dude, that's gotta be crippling.
bro, that's what I'm saying. Like there's people out right there right now that are freaking the fuck out.
They're like walking around like shell shock. Like
There's
World
people
War
that
I
just-
soldiers. It's like,
yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah, there's
they're
people.
not, and like, dude, they're not like, dude, I was at a birthday party not too long ago and I was talking to some people who I didn't believe or held the same beliefs. And I came to find out that they did hold the same beliefs. And they were fucking like, this is all new beliefs that they held. And they kind of had just kind of woke up to see what's going on. And
They were saying shit like the vaccine's not safe.
no,
Just found out the vaccine's not safe.
no, not that. But like the point is, I think most people are seeing it. It's just like some of us saw it a long time ago.
Mhm.
And some people are seeing it now and they're freaking the fuck out. They haven't followed along.
They think they're alone.
Bro, think of the crisis that you're having mentally right now. If you just woke up to all the bullshit that's happened over the last 3 fucking years.
Imagine if you were in like a coma and just woke up. You're like, what the fuck happened? Like you
Bro,
were in
I
like
saw
a
a
3-year
meme.
coma.
Michelle
You know
Obama
that
has a
meme?
dick. What?
You saw that?
That's a longer than 3-year coma.
Yeah.
Find
You
a
saw,
picture of her
you saw that
pregnant.
fucking meme where the 2 dudes are standing over the dude and one guy's got a gun. They got masks on. And it goes, bro, you hit your head really hard, man. Are you okay? You're rambling on about pedophiles and gender theory. We're getting ready to raid the White House. Like, that was 5 years ago. I was like, fuck.
That's us.
5 more years of this shit?
Yeah, no, man.
I know, and it's like you or the other ones with like the stick figures that just have like a USA flag and like a "Make America Great Again" hat, and they're like conspiracy theorists like crazy, and then you look at them and it's like nose ring vaccines up their
Yeah.
arms, BLM pins,
15
Antifa,
bandanas.
I mean Ukraine flags. I'm like,
No.
we're brainwashed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's dig into this aliens shit, man. So
And this is where I fucked up.
yeah, that's what. Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna start a new show. It's gonna be called "I'm from the Future and I'm here to save you."
I'm telling you, it's cruised the internet.
Yeah,
You know,
We could monetize the shit out of that.
yeah, bro. We could do a whole skit on YouTube. Like we're talking about YouTube content. It
From
could
the
be, we're
future.
from the future.
yeah.
See how far we can push it as a social experiment to get people to do shit that they actually think is going to change.
Apparently, if you're
Quite a
from the
bit.
government, you get them to do anything.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, even swab your butthole.
Yeah, it's not just a swallow. Sometimes it's total penetration.
Right, Keith?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what the? It's literally a respiratory virus, motherfuckers. I mean, come on.
Well, there's an argument to be made that some of us breathe from our buttholes sometimes. Just being honest.
Or people might breathe into buttholes.
That happens too.
It's fair. Yeah, so let's talk about these aliens tonight, because apparently they're coming. So often they are bleak, the article reads, including premonitions about the start of wars and meteorites landing. Now the latest prediction is that an alien attack is imminent and invaders will arrive today. The TikToker making the prediction is Eno Alaric, who uses the name at the Radiant Time Traveler, claims to be from the year 2671. The account has more than 350,000 followers, and this particular clip has amassed thousands of views. Originally posted back in October, it reads, quote, "Yes, I am a real time traveler. The world will end soon." It continues, quote,
Wait. How if you're a real time traveler from the future, how's the world over soon? You didn't think that one through, motherfucker.
what do you mean?
Like, how do he exist to come
How
back?
do you exist to come back from if the world's fucking over?
Oh, he explains it.
Oh, he
He
does?
explains it, yeah. He says, a very hostile alien species is coming to take back the Earth. We will not win. Another alien whose world was destroyed by the hostiles will come and save some of us.
Why does he say we? Like he's part of us? We will not win? Like I thought you were the alien time traveler.
Well, he's just, yeah, I don't know. This is the video, okay? Now I'll have to narrate it because it doesn't, it's just like some eerie
Beep,
music
beep,
and
beep.
shit, right? But I'll narrate it for you. I translated it
Fucking
because I'm
weird.
from the future also. So here's the video. It says, I am a real-time traveler. In less than 24 hours, 8,000 people will be chosen to be saved. The world you know as home, Earth, is on the brink of destruction from both outside forces and from within. A very hostile alien species called the Distance are planning to take back the Earth. Another alien known as the Champion will take some people to another habitable planet. The Distance placed the Pyramid of Giza on Earth to show ownership and we became more advanced. They're on their way back to take home planet and will cause the first battles in space for humans. The Champion will choose the best of us to ensure the survival of the human species. About 200 doctors will be chosen, 1,000 farmers, 1,000 engineers and mechanics, and many more. The Champion will leave with 8,000 people at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
At 6:30 our time.
Do not worry, the Champion is on the way. Stay safe, everyone.
Sounds like Squid Games and Noah's Ark mixed together.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's weird. But, you do have the Pentagon UFO chief says alien mothership is in our solar system. It's possible. That just came out.
The same people that lost how many $1 billion?
Exactly. Sounds like Project Bluebeam to me. I don't know.
People don't know what that is.
Project Bluebeam? Oh, dude. I mean, listen, I don't know how much weight. Are you familiar with it, Mike? Project Bluebeam?
It's the theory that they're going to use holograms and digital AI media to convince people the second coming of Christ or an alien invasion.
I mean, I think we're living in Revelation right now. Like the book of Revelation.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to argue that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised they use holograms. I mean, like, we're already getting conditioned to it. Where it's like Joe Biden having like his fake White House, like what the fuck that's about?
Yeah.
Right.
That's not even argued that it's not true. Like, why are you in some fake White House, guy?
Right.
And I don't think anyone can argue that there's different versions of what he appears like physically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that they use body doubles because I don't
No, they
know,
definitely
but
do.
like,
They definitely do. And one of them died.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
we
like,
talked about that. We covered that.
it's everything is deceitful, from the AI image there to like the deep fakes where people can just change their voices now to the like, it's going to get dangerous. And especially with that new chat GPT-4, that shit is going to, that shit's dangerous. And they need to address the ethical
they're gonna
concerns.
use that to create as much chaos as possible. That Chat GPT-4 will be used to incriminate and tarnish and smear anybody who resists the narrative forever.
No,
Through
I'm not caught
irrefutable
up to
evidence,
speed.
because
Bro,
it can go back further
Bro,
than
they
the human
can create
mind.
deep fakes videos of you speaking
That's what the
and
okay,
talking.
yeah.
And they sound and look exactly like you.
Yeah.
There's actually a video of Rogan where they did that with him.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're going to be able to do it with
Okay.
such great padding and evidentiary backing, because they can go back further in time than a human mind. And they could run this back to tie into every second of every day where you've been and
Think
use
of
it through an
cancel
algorithm.
culture on fucking steroids.
Jeez.
And evidence.
Yeah.
That's not real.
Jeez.
Because they now have ChatGPT was bad enough. Now they incorporate video, photograph, and voice into the algorithm. It makes it like you. It's not even
We could
comprehensible.
create a whole podcast with that fucking. We could create a whole podcast that would sound exactly like me with that fucking technology.
And just say, I'd like an hour-long episode of Real AF in Andy Frisella's voice with 2 guests and name 2 relatively famous people that have enough of their voice on the internet. And it'll have the video of you sitting at these tables in your voices talking about whatever topic you tell it to talk about.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. Why we no?
yeah, but
That's
hold on.
Bring those aliens
hold
back
on.
here.
Crazy.
I think. Hold on. No one's asking the question how long this stuff has existed.
So how do we know this is not
Well,
even it? Like, how do we know?
We
like,
don't. That's what I'm trying to say.
What the fuck?
We don't. And anybody that thinks they do, they're fucking wrong. Because
Bro, we're in a
do
matrix.
you really believe that this Chat GPT AI tech has just been birthed right now?
Yeah.
No, hold on.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't find out about fucking military equipment for fucking 30 years, dude. We don't find out about spy programs for 50 years. Do you really fucking believe this shit's brand new and that they haven't been using it the whole time? Because I don't.
No. I mean, we were talking about last night when we were
There's
talking
no
about
way.
there was a projectile created during the 40s that the German army and Hitler had built that shot bullets, literally projectiles that were up to, I think it was 7 tons in weight, so 14,000 pounds, and they could shoot it up to 40 miles away.
Yeah, I think you're talking about his railgun.
Yeah, that rail gun
Yeah.
that they dismantled so no one else got the specs on it.
Yeah.
That was in 1945.
And most people don't realize that the United States, under Operation Paperclip, brought all of the Nazi fucking technology to the United States and placed it inside of fucking our own agencies.
Bin Laden was a CIA asset. So, our government is not as pure as people like to portray it.
They're not pure at all. Our government is the bad people. Like that's what I'm trying to tell you. They've created this patriotic image of our fucking own government when the rest of the world sees us for what the fuck we are, which we've been the iron fist of fucking the most elite people of the world and gone around and enforced their fucking plays through all the Middle East, now in Ukraine, in Vietnam, and all these different places. They send our men and our women and our boys and our children to go do their fucking dirty work. And there's a reason why when you travel the world as an American, there's quite a few people that are like, yeah, fuck you.
Yep. And when I lived in France for undergrad and I studied political science when I was in France during college, the viewpoint that they had of America was so different than any viewpoint that I had ever considered. And at first it was almost enraging. Like, how dare you?
Yeah.
But then I also learned about this concept called ethnocentrism, which is where you believe that your ethnical, societal beliefs and structure are superior to everyone else's subconsciously, because we're told things that are, you are the best, this is the best, but it's not in the lens of America and the nation and what it could be or what it was dreamed of or what the founders intended it to be. It's the government is best. This is the best. And you don't like being criticized. But then when you start to look at irrefutable facts, like obviously, how long were we in Laos before that came out during Vietnam? We were the ones through FDR that created the drug cartels in Mexico and that entire problem. We shipped that off to the Middle East when it became, there was no profit. Weapons of mass destruction. We went to the Middle East for oil. Like, the United States government lies to the people
to get them to back their fucking military activities that oppress and kill people of all over the rest of the world.
And we're realizing it, and technology is bolstering that facade, and you're able to see through that. So now what do? They just shift from the military industrial complex to the pharmaceutical industrial complex. And that's where their money machine is. Because there's no better business model in the world, if you think about it, than a global vaccination platform. The demand, every person with a heartbeat. The supply, unlimited. You can just replicate the damn things. And the funding that goes behind it, usurp taxpayer dollars. It's literally foolproof if you take any sort of morals out of it. And then the fine, the government can't shut them down. Look at the big settlement that they had with Vioxx against Pfizer for $2.6 billion in, I think it was 2008 or 2013. The issue with that settlement was that they can't shut down Pfizer by taking away any sort of licensing agreement, which would be the definitional obligatory penalty if you criminally charge them, because the government needs to rely on some of those drugs that Pfizer creates that do ancillary wise help people. That's not their main purpose. They do have some drugs that help, but their main purpose is profit. So they create a shell corporation. That shell corporation pays out a fine, and that's it. And the fine that they pay out is going to be less than the gross profit received from the vaccines in the first place. So why the fuck would you ever stop?
You wouldn't. It's interesting how dude, we suffer from a lack of perspective as citizens of this country. You know, even the patriotic Americans, like, they believe that we're the good guys. Like, they believe that. We're not the good guys. We haven't been the good guys for a long fucking time. And that's a harsh reality, especially for someone who is very patriotic and believes in our country to say out loud, but that's the truth. And we've been allowing this government to fucking rape, pillage, and destroy civilizations all over the fucking world in the name of fucking freedom and democracy, when that's not their intent at all. Their intent isn't even for us to have it. So, like, for us to actually correct the problem, we have to at least admit what the problem is. And we have a government that goes to war in the name of us that has no interest in anything for us. There's no interest. They think, hey, you know what? We could do this shit. Fuck, we'll send all the fucking patriotic men and their fucking children to go fight these wars. And who are the biggest resistors to these people's narrative?
Those same people.
Who are the biggest resistors to their fucking propaganda? The patriotic young men of America that end up going to fight these fucking wars. So why do they give a fuck if the people who actually would end up rising up against them go die? We're doing them two favors in one. We're going and fighting their fucking wars.
And offing ourselves at the same time.
That's right. Exactly.
I mean, that's what they're doing with the mandates. They initially started off with elderly people. They're easy targets. Put them in nursing homes with COVID positive people. Then spread it wide and far throughout every private industry, government mandates. Everyone that caved capitulated and decided to fall in line with orders. Everyone that stood firm was just lambasted and ostracized from society, because if you don't fall in line, you're going to get kicked out. They don't want anyone that actually has integrity or that doesn't just blindly adhere to a narrative in any position of authority. That's why they went so hard on the military. That's why they went so hard with law enforcement. That's why they went so hard with firefighters, because these are positions that are essential throughout society. Teachers, schools.
Yeah, and they weeded out the noncompliance.
And you know what? One of my favorite arguments that I will raise in court is whenever I bring in someone and I call them in, they're like, well, I was just following orders. I look at the judge and say, Your Honor, so were the guards at Auschwitz.
That's right. Dude, it's the most dangerous phrase in society right now. I've been saying this on the show. Dude, I have tons of police officers that listen to this show. I have tons of FBI that listen to the show. I have tons of CIA. I know you motherfuckers listen to my calls too. It's all good.
Yeah, right.
Here's the reality. You guys are the fucking defense of our country. You guys are the fucking, it's going to be whatever you decide, which determines the outcome of whether we become an actual free country or whether we are forced into the depths of communism and destruction. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And I will also want to put a plug in. There are a lot of extremely good people spreading throughout every agency in the federal government.
That's
there
what,
are
that's
so
what I'm
many
to.
of them.
That's what I'm talking to.
Yeah.
So what do we got? I mean, so
I don't know.
6:30,
We'll find out at
80?
6:30, bro.
I'm gonna be at your house.
Yeah, well.
I'm going to text you on the
I
airplane
mean,
just to make sure I got
they're not
there.
going to take me.
Yeah.
I'm a white man, rich businessman, bro. I don't qualify under their diversity and inclusion.
I don't have shit to offer, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't, you got to be, I don't fit the qualifications anymore.
Yeah. It just makes you think about the Space Force.
Plus,
shit
I'm a
too.
greedy entrepreneur, bro, that just
Yeah.
oppresses everybody. They don't want that. They want doctors.
Yeah.
They want people of moral standard like doctors.
They're gonna take Syed.
I'd annoy the shit out of them on that ride back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't shut the fuck up the whole way.
They just take you
I
right
start
back.
speaking in French. I
Drop
would
your
start.
ass off in space.
I could filibuster like hell on that
Bro.
spaceship ride. I
mean-
would not stop talking.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So
I'm out. So
Yeah.
like, I'm waiting for the distance to come. Fucking, at least I get to fight somebody.
yeah, wait, no shit.
You know,
Oh shit. Yeah, we'll see, man. And if you got, I mean, obviously you guys will know tomorrow. So if you're hearing this, then obviously there's no aliens.
Yeah, well, this
but-
is the last show.
Yeah, this could very well
Been
be
nice talking to you guys.
be the last.
Next broadcast coming from the intergalactic universe.
Yeah.
You know? Fuck,
God, I want aliens so bad though, man. I'll be honest with you.
bro. I want unity so bad.
Yeah,
That's all I want, man.
it's real shit.
I just want
man.
people to realize it's Americans versus the government. It's not left versus right, black
That's right. I'm
versus,
saying it's.
you know,
I want
it's
the
unity.
of
That's
the
what
people.
we need.
Yeah,
I think back to 9/11, man. American flags flying everywhere. It didn't matter what color your skin was. As Americans,
that was a
because
that's
we
a,
felt attacked, and
listen,
we are.
that's a
being
good
attacked.
start.
Yeah.
I remember that day, bro. I was 22 years old. Okay, I was an adult when that happened. I know exactly what the fuck I was doing that day. Fucking exactly. That's a good start. But here's the problem. Is that that's only a start. Because until we start appreciating each other's cultures and until we start working together to create America to be the best place possible, it doesn't really count that much when we have a common enemy that's outside the walls. You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, if it takes a common enemy to attack us and fucking unite us, then we're doing something wrong and we can do better. And like, dude, I'm calling on the fucking men who know, and men and women who know that this race bullshit, which is clearly the big line that they're trying to divide us along,
keep us divided on.
to fucking speak on it. It's fucking wrong. And if it's coming from your people, it's your job to stand up to those people and say, hey, shut the fuck up. You're fucking wrong. And you're buying into this narrative and you're part of the problem. And until that happens, we will never be able to get unity. We will never be able to get it.
those who see someone speak and remain silent are arguably even more culpable than the person whose lips are moving.
100%. And this shit's wrong. And we have to start speaking against it because I'm seeing it escalate. I'm seeing Twitter, and I do go on Twitter, you guys don't know, and I view what's going on Twitter. I see on Instagram people becoming openly fucking racist on the internet. And I see it from black people and I see it from white people. And it fucking disgusts me. Like, we are not that fucking primitive. We are not that fucking simple thinkers.
We will be conquered with.
And if we are, we will lose our lives because of it.
Yeah.
So
Not only the black ones, not only the white people, all of us.
I've been saying this for years.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for years. That they listen, these other people, if you look at the fucking what's going on in the world, you have all the countries that fucking hate America working together now. Legitimately, militarily and economically. Okay? It's only a matter of time. And you guys say, oh, well, we're with NATO. NATO's very weak compared to what's going on over there.
We are NATO.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And we don't exactly have the toughest generation of fucking fighting force going on here in this country. All right? If we don't fix this, and we don't fix this race bullshit, and we don't start standing up for what's right, we will fucking die. They will kill us. And that will happen not in fucking 20 years, not in 30 years, not in the next lifetime, not in your kid's lifetime, in your fucking lifetime. And that's the important part that people need to understand. We should be putting all of these fucking differences aside and calling them what they are. They're trivial. They're minuscule. And we should be taking responsibility for our own lives, regardless of where we grew up or where we were born. Because wherever you grew up or wherever you were born or whatever race you happen to be, there are fucking millions of examples of people who have become what it is you aspire to become. That's undeniable fact. You are not the fucking victim. They have trained you to be the victim so that they can fucking take everything from you. And that's what we're suffering from. We're suffering from a culture of victimhood and lacking responsibility and artificial arguments that are irrelevant while these fucking fucks take everything from us. And eventually they'll get us killed. And you say, oh, well, why are they going to get, bro, these people are paid off by other countries to put us in this vulnerable position. If we don't fucking understand that, you're not paying attention. The amount of money that's been contributed to the fucking Biden family and his associates and the people who are making these decisions in the courtrooms, the prosecutors, the Soros attorneys, these people are making decisions intentionally to put us in a vulnerable position here in America. They're intentionally doing it. Our border's wide open. Our inflation's insane. They continue to print trillions of dollars. We are intentionally being put on a platter to be conquered. And we're arguing about whether or not someone has a darker fucking tan than us. Is that worth dying for? Because that's what it's going to lead to. And you guys who don't stand up and you don't speak up and you don't have nothing to say about it, you're sentencing your kids to literal fucking, at least poverty, third world poverty.
If you're lucky.
Third world poverty, and probably death. And that's where we're at. That's where I firmly believe we are. When I break this down using my brain skills, and you could say whatever. You could say I'm fucking insane or an alarmist or I'm stupid or whatever, but my track record's pretty good, and it's pretty good in all areas. You go back and listen to this whole entire fucking library of shows, and there isn't very much shit that I missed. And my life speaks to that example too. I'm pretty fucking intelligent. I'm good at seeing what's happening. That's why I'm good in business. And like, dude, I'm telling you guys, from my perspective, without any extra fucking alarmism or any kind of emphasis, if we don't fucking get over this race bullshit and we don't fucking start working together and we don't realize that we're being pitted against each other for the detriment of our own lives, we're going to fucking lose everything. And that's what concerns me, dude. That's where I'm at.
Everyone always wants to chip in when it's too late. And right now is a point blank, unequivocal message into your ears that it is too late if you wait a second longer.
I agree.
Start yesterday.
Yeah.
Because it's imminent. Because it's not going to get better. And anyone that challenges that was your first problem. Your mental thought process was to combat that instead of say, you know what? Fuck it. Let's actually fight. Why are you hesitant? And just literally take 10 seconds and ask the question in your mind, why do I not speak out? What is it that I'm afraid of? And what is the consequence that I probably don't even know about that I am ultimately so fearful of that is greater than death?
What's crazy is, dude, the solution here is very simple. When people fucking hate you, instead of hating them back, don't hate them back. Who taught that lesson?
Jesus.
That's right. Why are they eliminating that man's message?
Because we need a moral guiding compass and a principle that's bigger than ourselves.
Well, if we follow that message and we did what Jesus did, and when people hated him and persecuted him, he loved them back, how much power would they really have over us? So it makes sense why they're trying to remove that.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Something to think about.
Yep. Well, guys, Andy, that's all I got.
Yep, that's the show. Don't be a hoe.
Huh?
Amen.
Yeah. What?
Oh, no, wait.
I just changed it up.
We end with Jesus and don't be a hoe.
Yeah. Don't be a hoe.
Share show.
There we go.